Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out, share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks. Today we are back with another interesting episode, because, again, that's the only type of episodes we do over here at the Roger Report Live. And I made a little bit of a change, y'all, because folks ain't convinced for some reason. So we just gonna deal with black women. Well, black men and women do not have the same culture. Yeah, I'm gonna deal with that, y'all. Black men and women do not have the same culture. And we're gonna get right into that. You know, just give me a minute, because before we get into it, first of all, I want to say shout out to all the people who give me views on a regular basis that make up the fam around here. I appreciate y'all big time. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream, because things like that can help grow the channel. You can even help give me an idea on some of the things that we're going to do in the future. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shout out to the people who hype me up every chance they get. I know you can't use it all the time, but hey, you got to save at least one for me. I mean, at least once a week. Everybody, if you subscribe, you should be hyping me up at least once a week. I mean, come on now. Come on. You know, you give it away to these other folk that ain't about nothing. You might as well save at least one for me. But, you know, appreciate everybody who hype me up every chance they get. Real talk. And shout out to everyone who hits that like button, because, you know, again, we want to help grow the channel, help make a bigger impact. And shout out to everyone who financially contributes to the channel, because y'all allow me to do things I would not be able to do without y'all. And it's great as I'm justifying, quote unquote, the people on why they should be checking out a show like this, that I got y'all to have my back. And I definitely appreciate it. And I'm going to say shout out to Afro Merchant, who is the sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And let me give a couple shout outs to some of the first people to check in this morning, because anytime you start to show up and you about to fire stuff off, it's always great to see that you got a few people in your corner that's letting me know that they rock with you. And y'all know how it is. There can only be one. So shout out to the Highlander of today's stream. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. And you ain't been Highlander, get yourself one. Get yourself one. But he done did it again, y'all. My main man who represents every single time, Trail Billy, is in the building, representing hashtag Long Live Habitual Line Steppers, hashtag Negroes in the Wilderness, hashtag Dignity Over Vagina, hashtag Al Gore's Babies, hashtag Hey Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Great to see you. Great to see you. Shout out to the Knights Palace. Glad to have you in the building, my brother. Glad to have you in the building. The Emerald Edge is coming through at the cool table. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. Bronk is in the building. Great to have you. Great to have you. J Bay is in the house. What's good, my brother? What's good? J Bones, what's happening, my brother? What's happening? Always great to see you. I'm listening. Is in the building. Good to have you. Good to have you. The sponsor of today's stream, Afro Merch, is right there checking in at the cool table. Glad to have you, brother. Glad to have you. We got JJW. Is that J-Dub? Is that J-Dub? I know certain things got changed around. If that's J-Dub, let me know. I ain't saying it is. I'm just not saying it ain't. But shout out to you, JJW. All right. And shout out to Lad Zulu in the building. What's good, my brother? What's good? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. All right, y'all. I'm about to get into it. Black men and black women do not have the same culture. And I was doing a show on black women's culture yesterday. I plan to do something on black men's culture today, but it seems like I got to address the fact that black men and women ain't even got the same culture. For some reason, we aren't accepting this reality. Okay? We're not accepting this reality. What is culture, y'all? It's the things people do, the things people accept. Sometimes it's about your belief system. Sometimes it can include religion, but it's things that the masses do to show that they rock with each other. And when you think about black men and you think about black women, how do you come up with the same culture? When you remove yourself from it, you remove the emotional part. No, I'm just saying, you look at groups of people moving. I don't see black men and black women having the same culture. Okay? I believe most black women belong to this anti-family, dysfunctional single mother community. I believe most of them belong to that community. They share the same belief systems. They share the same goals. They rock with each other on a heavy basis. Now, this does not mean 100% women. This does not mean 100% women with children already. Now, I'm talking about the people who believe in that culture. So there's men, women, and children of every culture. But when you look at most black women, I believe they fit into that anti-family, dysfunctional single mother culture. That's just the way it is. Now, even though you have some men over there too, I don't believe the average black man believes in that culture. Can't really afford to. It's too inconvenient. Okay? Now, I'm gonna say this. I think let's do this. I do believe that you have men like myself who belong, because this is the major other subsection of the black community. You have men like myself who believe in black men's leadership. Okay, we are respectable, we're productive, we're functional. But we believe in black men's leadership. It's no black men being in charge is not an issue for us. Okay, It's just not an issue for us. Okay. We do the best we can to not be dysfunctional. Okay. Now let's keep it real. There's some respectable, functional brothers out there, and they are uncomfortable with black men leadership because they were raised by their mothers. They've accepted certain things of the culture. But I'm gonna say, no matter what's said about folks, the average black man, he's gonna get up, go to work, do what he's supposed to do, because that's what goes on in America. Black men who constantly stay out of pocket in this particular country will end up dead, will end up homeless, or will end up in prison. That's a very real thing. See, when black men participate in stuff that's not seen as proper for society for too long, they got a place for them. Okay? They're going to put you in prison to take you out the population, or you're out of the general population at that point. If it's not prison, let's be realistic now. They're going to put you in the graveyard, which will now take you out the population for real, for real. Okay? Ain't even no question about if you're out the population. All right? And the other thing is, you won't act right on a regular basis. They're going to put you, you're going to end up being homeless. People are not going to work with you. You're going to end up being homeless. You won't be able to establish yourself. You won't be able to get a mortgage. You won't be able to get you won't be able to get an apartment. And then you're basically homeless at that point. Now people make jokes about homosexuals, but there are homosexuals who live a life where they want to kind of be too out of pocket for society's sake. And they will bounce around from woman to woman to woman. Why? Because they can't go put money down on an apartment. They can't come up with a down payment on a house. So what do? They bounce around from female to female. I know it's going to be temporary. She'll put me out eventually. But I just got to make sure I'm ready to go when she put me out, and make sure I got that new thing ready when my old thing throw me out. Now, I look at people who do this. Do I see those guys as the average black man? No, the average black man is not trying to live off a woman. Now, black women may say something like that because they want you to feel bad for them, and they want you to do extra stuff so you can make up for what some other man did. Black women always got these stories about how you need to do something to make up for what these other men did. I don't care nothing about no dude living off you. That's on you. If he was in your house or your apartment and he, drove around your car while you went to work, you put your 8, 10, 12 hours in as a woman, he dropped you off. He dropped you off in your car, and then he took your car to go mess with other chicks while you was at work. I don't have nothing bad to say about that man. More power to him. At the end of the day, winning is winning. What does he want? He wants sex. He wants food. He wants a place to sleep. He getting all those because you, as a woman, want to have a compromised man. So y'all serving each other just fine. I don't see it as an issue. But see, what I don't see is a guy like that as a representative of a large portion of Black America. Okay, at least not the men. It's not a large portion. Now, does a large portion of Black women want a guy like that? Yes, absolutely. Proof is in the pudding. A lot of women want a guy like that. There's a lot of Black women who are upset that more guys aren't like that. And you hear them complaining about opposite stuff. Okay? Shout out to Trail Billy. He said, but Roger, he didn't put gas back in the car. I don't care. It is what it is. You gave him the car. That's your fault. A lot of people, we do like to live in la-la land. And we do like to ignore certain rules, especially when it's convenient. I understand if I lend somebody my car and they don't put gas in it, that's on me at the end of the day. I can say something to them about it, but when it comes down to it, that's on me. When I got to get in that car and go somewhere and ain't no gas in it, what I got to do? Go to the gas station because it's on me. You know, I can go to them and they gonna be, as people say, hemming and hawing. You know, but if I got to be where I need to be, then I got to go take that thing to the gas station to handle that. So it's gonna be on me. So, you know, I ain't tripping. I just try to make sure I don't put myself in such a bad position that somebody else can mess up what I'm trying to get done. That's what I like to do. You know, I'm a kind-hearted person. I would like to think I'm one of those people that can give you their last, but if you about to mess up what I need to do, then I really can't give you my last. You know, it is what it is. All right. But I don't see the majority of black men operating that way. I do understand that black men are going to operate that way because there's a lot of women who want a compromised man and they want some guy who they don't have to do anything. Well, the guy wants a situation too where he don't have to really do what men are expected to do. He doesn't have to be a leader. He doesn't have to be a protector. It doesn't have to be a provider. And I just be wondering why y'all think for the man that's a super big deal for him. Now he already has to give up his dignity in a lot of these scenarios. People don't like to talk about that part, but he got to normally give up his dignity to be in these scenarios. But once you're comfortable giving up your dignity, you know, I'm pretty sure putting up with other stuff gets a lot easier. You know, it's a lot easier to move a man who already gave up his dignity. Let's just keep it real. You know, and I understand that, you know, people try to present themselves in a way. You know, a lot of men who act like girls try to prove to other men that don't care about them that they're better. They'll say things like, see, y'all just don't understand what's going on. Y'all ain't getting the hoes like I'm getting the hoes. You see what I'm saying? You know, if y'all would do what I do, y'all can have these hoes too. Now, of course, you know, Black America, you know, the women of Black America from a general standpoint are hoes. So to brag that you got a bunch of hoes ain't really saying anything. But they ain't figured that out yet. They haven't figured that out yet. Okay, I get it. And then they don't see how they act like girls. Girls, you know, or even women, because they are always in competition. They're always trying to show off how they can outdo the other chick. But that's what the guys are trying to do. They acting like girls. It's funny to me because they don't even realize how they acting like girls. When you brag about your hoes, you acting like a woman. Let's just be real. Okay? First of all, hoes ain't nothing to brag about in the first place. Okay? That's nothing to brag about in the first place. So you got some hoes. They hoes, bro. That's not an amazing thing. You know? If you got to brag that you pulled a hoe, you know, your life may not be that great. That's all I'm gonna say. Your life may not be that great. Cause you still bragging about hoes. All right, now this is the thing, y'all. We are going across some different paths. Black men have to deal with things that black women don't really have to deal with on a regular basis. So black women have a culture of trying to use their pussy to manipulate the world when their words don't work. I'm not gonna sit here and say black women don't try to manipulate the words, the world with their words. They will, and if they say something, you give it up to them. I mean, yeah, they gonna take it. But black women are trying to manipulate the world, and I'm not saying anything bad. That's just how women do. They try to get men to do stuff for them through words, and when words don't work for black women, they pretty much go to pussy. You know, that's just what it is. They pretty much go to pussy if the words don't work. Or if they think the words may get them in trouble, that's what they're going to do. Now, if they believe they can get a man that they can direct because the man needs her, they will try that too, which is why they will let a man come live with them and not pay any rent, not put any food in the fridge. She can even have kids and she'll let him eat up the kids' snacks because she want a man. And whatever she got to give up to get a man, she's willing to do it so she don't have to listen to a man. Okay? The average black woman has a culture where you just don't listen to black men, period. Which means what? You got to deal with men that's going to accept that they won't be listened to. That's just what it is. You know? And a lot of black men, I'm going to say, y'all could end up frustrated sometime because y'all not really thinking about the big picture. You know? And y'all concern yourself with these made up things that black women want. So you miss the boat a lot of times. Because black men, at this point, going around talking about all this stuff women want. They don't want that stuff. That's just stuff they say to protect their own image. Well, I say you ain't making six figures. If you don't drive this type of car, you don't live in this type of home, you don't have these type of clothes. If you can't take me here and there, you're not worthy. And guys, listen to this stuff. It's just nonsense that women say at the end of the day. Why do you care what a woman wants? Okay? Why you care? First of all, once I pull you, then I might consider what you want over time. I don't care what a woman I don't have wants. You know, that's like me being concerned with how a child is being taken care of that ain't my child. That's not gonna happen regularly. Okay? Now, I got some God kids. But there's no regular. When I walk down the street, y'all, do you really believe I look at people's houses and I think about the kids that may live in that house and how, you know, I wonder if they got enough food. I wonder if they got enough milk. You know, I wonder if they have proper. I don't think about none of that stuff. I don't do it. It's just not a concern. Okay. It's not a real concern for me. Okay. From an overall standpoint, community wise, all that, yeah, I'll take them in. You know, I'll think about it when I'm saying some kind of presentations, like I'm talking to folks now. Okay, cool, they may come up, but on an everyday level, I'm not thinking about it. Can your kid? Man, I ain't thinking about whether your kid's gonna eat tonight. That's not gonna be a thought I'm gonna have throughout my day. Okay, I'm just not concerned. You know. And people say, what about the kids? What? See, when you have accepted this single mother culture that's very much anti-family and very much dysfunctional, you'll concern yourself with these kids because people say that, well, you know, what about the kids? Meaning, how the kids gonna live? What the kids gonna eat? Do we have clothes for the kids? I don't think about whether your kid eats or not. I don't even really care for real, for real. You know, I have no direct care about your kids eating. Okay. Let's think about it, y'all. Let's think about it. And see, and that's why I know we as men and women, we're basically from two different cultures. The average black woman will concern herself if a random kid she does not know is going to be able to eat tonight. Okay? If you put it in her face, she will concern herself about it. Now, me as a black man, I will eat in front of the child that's starving. It's not something I look to do. It's not something I'm gonna make an effort in front of. I mean, I'm not gonna make an effort to be in front of them or whatever. But I will eat in front of your starving child. It's not gonna bother me. Now, a lot of people will be triggered by that thought, mainly women. Not saying it wouldn't be being triggered by that thought, but it'd mainly be women. To know that there's some child who's actually starving. You know, he may not have eaten, you know what I'm saying, in 2 days. All right. I might eat in front of that child. I ain't gonna think nothing about that child's eating situation. It's not gonna even cross my mind. You know, I see hungry kids all the time. Am I gonna stop and be like, let me go buy y'all some food because y'all start? No, I ain't thinking about that. Okay. I ain't thinking about that. Now, if a child tell me what the situation is, man, I tell your child how to go get out there and get some money. You know, I tell you, you know, man, if you ain't ate in 2 days, now see, I could be somewhere and a child could come to me and say, man, I ain't ate in 2 days. It's not going to make me automatically go in my pocket and feed the child. Maybe I will, just depends on my mood at the time. Depends on what I'm doing at the time. You know, but these children are not my obligation from a direct standpoint. Now, I don't mind charity, y'all. I think God wants us to give charity. So it just kind of depends on what's going on at the time. Will I help a starving child here or there? Possibly. But at the end of the day, I probably try to take you out to get some money so you can eat on a regular basis. Because me giving you my food right now, you know, is this really going to help the community? Okay, if I give you my food that I'm trying to eat right now, is this going to help the community? Shout out to Urban Reed. He said Raj ain't sharing his Popeyes, especially his Big Quits, especially his biscuits. Okay, look, brother, look. Nah, real talk. I may give him the biscuits. If you happen to catch me while we eating, if you happen to catch me as I'm eating, and you coming to me as a starving kid talking about you ain't ate in 2 days, I probably will give you them biscuits. Okay. Probably get you a cup of water to go with them biscuits. You can get the biscuits, okay? You can get the biscuits. All right, real talk. All right. Now the chicken, that's a whole different story. Okay, that's a whole different story. Because now I do understand I gotta eat for anybody to be okay. If Raj ain't okay, Roger can't be in position to share Popeyes. So I got to eat. It is what it is, y'all. I got to eat. And some kids of a bum is not gonna make me get to the point where I don't take care of myself. Yeah, and you hear what I'm saying, y'all? Kids of a bum. Because number one, no child should meet me in the streets randomly and need my help to eat. You know, if your parents ain't dead, you shouldn't need my help to eat. That's number one. Okay. Yeah. And if I'm eating, yeah, maybe I'll give you them biscuits. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this, y'all. You know, shout out to Popeyes. I ain't trying to say nothing bad about Popeyes. But if I get something from Popeyes, if I get, you know what I'm saying, some food from Popeyes, it's gonna be hours before I eat that biscuit anyway. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna eat the food. I'm gonna come back to the biscuits hours later. It takes me hours to get to the point where I'm about to eat that biscuit. And that's just real talk. So I could give a kid a biscuit and it ain't gonna phase me. Okay, man, you can have this. I'm gonna eat it for another 3, 4, 5 hours anyway. Don't take this biscuit. Matter of fact, let me help you get some water before you die. You know. But no, I don't have this obligation to all these random kids that people don't want to take care of. If you are cool with letting your child starve, I accept you have a right as a parent to let your child starve. That's on you. Okay. I do believe you got to let parents be parents. And people say, well, you know, sometimes people going to be abusive to kids. It's their kid. I don't have more say so than their kid than they got. That's on them. You know? So I don't feel bad or whatever. Well, I don't feel no type of way. And I told y'all before, I used to give money to the school. Every time they talking about we finna get the kids ready to go back to school. Yeah, I throw them some dollars. I don't do none of that no more. I understand some kids just gonna have it rougher than others. Just is what it is. Some kids gonna have it rougher than others. I don't have to take care of everybody's kids. Now, is that gonna happen with the average woman? No, not at all. Child ran up on a woman talking about they hungry. You know what I'm saying? She'll do all kinds of stuff to make sure that kid eat. But she's also doing it in the context that somebody gonna take care of me later. See, women are more willing to do some stuff because they think somebody else gonna give them something later. They live lives based on the idea that somebody else is gonna give them something later. I don't live that kind of life. I have a completely different culture. My life is if I don't have the money, I have to go earn the money. Black women have a culture of I don't have the money, I got to go ask for the money. And a lot of them don't even care enough to even flat out ask. They want to say stuff in front of men to try to make you feel obligated. So because to them, they just too dignified to just ask you for some money. And they don't want to feel like anything's owed to you. What if I ask him for some money, he might feel like I got to pay it back. You don't even have to say nothing about it. She'll feel like you might have to pay it back. And that's just too far for her. To be in debt to a nigga is just too far from her idea, of what kind of woman she's supposed to be. She ain't never supposed to be in debt to no nigga. I owe the white man some money, but I ain't gonna be in debt to you niggas. You niggas is gonna have to give it to me. All right. See, that's manifestation of a different culture. Now, let's think about the fact that black men like having families. All right. And I'm gonna show you how even some of the smart folks can be misled too. All right. Because I said, just yesterday, black women don't even like having families. Now, hey, I love them. I love them. He an Ivy League and all that, but sometimes they wrong too. He was like, well, black men ain't having families either. No. Black men are actually got to a point where we started looking for other women to have families with. And of course, it's hard to have a family when your idea is I'm supposed to be with this particular woman who doesn't like having a family. So what have black men been forced to do? They've been forced to start making some different decisions. And these decisions are starting to manifest. And I know a lot of folks say they see some of these younger black men, they just not even talking to black women. Because see, black men like having families. It took us a while to figure out what was going on. But we making adjustments. Okay, since I want to be a part of a family, I want to actually have a family, I got to do that with some other woman. I can't do it with a sister. I have a baby with a sister. She gonna want custody, and she just gonna want me to send her a check, and she not gonna want me involved in the child's life. So therefore, if I want to have a family, I probably need to date some woman who, maybe I need to get me one of these white girls. I need to get one of these Hispanic girls. I need to get some other girl other than this black one. It just is what it is. So I'm gonna say no. Black men do want to have families. It just took us a while to figure out that it's not that good or easy to have one with a black woman. It should be, especially with the fact that they're a bunch of hoes, for the most part. It should be easy. I mean, we know we can get them pregnant. That's easy. And I think a lot of men, because of how we're trained about women, it's hard for us to accept black men from a general standpoint don't want to have babies with black women anymore. We don't say it like that. We don't think about it that way. But when you got over 50% of black men who didn't have a child at all, that says they don't want to have children with black men anymore. Well, excuse me, the men don't want to have children with black women anymore from a general standpoint. And then when you start looking younger, you see dudes dating non-black women. So when you start looking at those teens and those early 20s and all that, you see a lot more non-black women being involved. Now, I'm not going to say you ain't going to have some young brothers still with black women, but at the end of the day, once they figure stuff out, it's like, I got to go in a different direction. They may not even want to go in a different direction, but if they want to have a family, it just don't make sense to pick a black woman first. Now, did this say black women are ugly? No. Does it say they're unattractive? No. It just says if your true goal is to be a decent man in society or anything better than decent, you're going to have to get with a woman that you can have a family with. And where are you going to get a woman who you can have a family with? Because, you're going to want a woman that's supportive of you, a woman that's going to help with the children and all that. But get you a non-black woman. And it ain't like these guys just start making these decisions out of nowhere. They are seeing things, they're examining things, and they're coming to conclusions. Now, what is black women's culture? Well, part of black women's culture is they like to be in debt because they want to stunt for other women. Let's be realistic about this stuff, y'all. Black women's culture is they like to be in debt so they can stunt for other women. What is black men's culture? To be in debt for a reason that makes sense. Something that will either make you money or something to take care of your family with. Okay? Now, I'm not saying black women won't go into debt, because they will. Especially if they believe they can stunt on other women. And then there's the debt, which is usually the same thing. They will go into debt to not listen to a black man. So yeah, now I'm definitely aiming that toward college debt. Okay? Because why do black women go to college? To not listen to a black man. They want to feel justified in never listening to a black man. Because what can a black man tell them if they already got a degree? See, and they mind nothing. And you may be slow enough that you just thought for a second, well, how's a man who don't got a degree gonna tell a woman something with a degree? And that's why I said slow. See, if a black woman has a degree, she don't even think a man with a degree can tell her anything. Not if he black, because to her, he's just a nigga. Yo, she don't care whether he got no degree or not. The degree is to stunt. To say this is why I don't listen to these niggas. That's what the degree for. I ain't listening to these niggas. I got a degree. You wasn't listening anyway. you know, and the women who don't got a degree, they do the same thing. They just do it for less money. The women who don't have a degree, they don't listen either. They just do it for less money. The woman with a degree, she just paid more money because she believed from an image perspective, I need to be able to justify why I won't listen to these niggas. So I got a degree, so everybody know I shouldn't be listening to these niggas. No real difference between her and a woman literally living in the projects. She ain't listening to no nigga either. She just didn't, she just didn't go into debt $100,000 to feel more comfortable not listening to a nigga. That's all it is. Same results, just different amounts of debt. Okay? Same results, just different amounts of debts. Now, I'm not saying black men won't go into debt, especially over college, but they go into debt so they can, quote unquote, better themselves and then better their life situation to be able to take care of a woman when she comes along and to be in a better position to take care of kids when they come along. Black men ain't going to college just to get debt. They going because it's supposed to be an investment that's going to, on the back end, that they're going to win with. That's what they doing. That's a whole different set of reasoning. Okay? Just is what it is. Now, a black man, he gonna go into debt so he can get a house. He'll go into debt to get a car. Those are things to help him attract women. Those are things to help him get a family. Because there's a lot of brothers who they want a certain kind of car because they know if they can have a car, it's just easier to get a woman to bust down. Because now you got a place to bust her down. I'm not saying you need it. It's just easier. Okay? I'm not saying the women ain't going to bust down and you don't have a car. But when you do have a car, it makes it a little bit easier to get a bust down because you can get her to some private location, whether it's in the car, whether it's at the hotel room, whether you got an apartment, whatever. It's just easier to, the logistics of getting her to bust down just come across a little bit easy. That's it. But she gonna bust down. You know, that's just where it goes. So black men are trying to build a better future for the most part. Black women are not trying to build a better future for the most part. So I don't get why people can look at black men's behavior and black women's behavior and come to the conclusion they got the same culture. Now, I'm not gonna say ain't no similarities. Not gonna say that. I mean, when it came down to this last vote, you know, black women almost at 100%. I think it was 97%. They voted for Kamala Harris because they want to be able to say we got a black woman president, and they want to use it as a way to stunt. And see, we probably didn't really think about it, but you know, black women feel some type of way because we've already had a black man president. You know what I'm saying? Because of Obama, you know, the way Obama sing, he was the black man president. So black women probably been feeling some kind of way ever since Obama got elected. Because keep in mind, none of them voted for Obama, even if they cast a vote for Obama, you know, when they went into the polls. Black women out their own mouths said that they voted for Michelle. So they wasn't really voting for Barack Obama to be the president. They were voting for Michelle Obama to be the first lady. Now the vote is the same. Two totally different reasons. Okay, think about that. The vote is the same. Two totally different reasons. Black men were voting for Barack Obama to be president. Black women were voting for Michelle Obama to be first lady. It looked the same though. If you look at the ballot, it looked the exact same. But they were definitely voting for two different results. It's just in some places the results, they do. In some places we have actual intersectionality, as they like to say. It was an intersectional vote, okay? In order for me to vote the black man the president, I got to make the black woman the first lady. Because that's what was on the table. For them, in order to get a black first lady, I got to let this nigga be president. So that was intersectionality, y'all. That was some real intersectionality right there. Oh. Shout out to the nice palette. He said, but Roger, men and women would be at the ceremony today, even I guess if mandated to watch it. Well, I mean, you know, we will have some intersectionality in some of the things that we do. But when the last time y'all went to a black man's wedding where he was getting married to a black woman? Or when was the last time you was invited to a black woman's wedding where she was getting married to a black man? Whoever you happen to know. Because I didn't say it before, y'all. You know, it's one of the harsh things about losing channel, but haven't I said it before? I don't get invited to weddings the way I used to. You know, I definitely see it has dropped. Okay. It's definitely dropped. The weddings ain't happening the way they used to happen. Okay. Matter of fact, because we're in June right now, this is supposed to be beginning of the wedding season. Like, it's supposed to be a lot of weddings happening right about now. You know, how many invitations y'all got this year? Okay, June, July, those are big months for wedding. How many invitations y'all got? You know, let's be real about that. How many invitations y'all got? Because I ain't got none. Okay. I'm about to do a whole nother year, no weddings at all. That's what I'm about to do. Whole nother year, no weddings at all. I don't have no invitation out there of somebody getting married. Okay. I don't have one. Okay. I ain't got none for next year either. or the year after that. I ain't got nothing going on. Well, I'm supposed to be showing up at anybody's wedding. Okay. So people have this idea that we live in the same culture. Whereas if we were of the same culture, wouldn't we be marrying each other? But the majority of black women aren't married at all. That does not sound like we're sharing culture. I understand a couple sharing the culture. You share it with your children, you share it with your neighbors. Yeah, you share a culture. I don't see black folks sharing culture like that. I see black men getting to a point, and I'm telling y'all, we're going to start seeing it more and more, even with the celebrities. Black men are going to just be, keep their success to themselves. And you're not going to really see a bunch of women involved in the picture. And, not to do anything to him or point him out specifically, I think that's what we're seeing right now with the rise of Michael B. Jordan. He had a young lady. He was going to marry the young lady. According to all the stories and whatnot that came out, he proposed to the young lady, even though we didn't even necessarily agree he should have been with that young lady. And then that young lady said no. And that was the first public girlfriend that we know of. And he hasn't had a public girlfriend since. Now, I think that's going to start to be a very normal thing amongst black men. You may get the big come up where you make it as an actor. You may get the big come up where you make it as a rapper. You may get a big come up where you make it as a singer. Or you might do it as a basketball player, or you may make the big come up as a football player. But I think more and more of these guys that you see who've made it to this super echelon of success where you can make millions upon millions of dollars in the same year, you're going to see a lot of these brothers. They're going to be solo dolo, as they say. Now, I'm not saying they ain't going to be out here getting it in with some hoes. I'm not saying they're not going to, take down a few here or there. But what you're going to see is a lot more of the brothers, they ain't getting married because they're not ready to move on to somebody else. Or if they get married, they're going to be focused on some non-black woman. Okay. Now, shout out to Joe Breezy. He says, Roger, Michael B. Jordan has been seen with a white woman. Don't know if she his lady or not, but there was speculation. Well, there's been a lot of speculation. I would say that. I'm not saying these guys ain't gonna go out there and do something here or there. I seen people speculating that it was some Asian woman that Michael B. Jordan was with. And she's supposed to be some actor, but she was an Asian lady. Okay. But hey, I believe you're going to see these famous men, if they're with somebody, it's going to be a non-black woman because black men and women don't even have the same culture. We're for the most part, we're looking for different things. I mean, if you just even look at it from a household perspective, black men are looking to be head of households. And I'm going to say black women are also looking to be head of households. Now, if the man is trying to be the head of the household and the woman is trying to be the head of the household, what do we know has to happen for those particular households? That has to be two different households. You're not going to have a man and the woman as head of the same household. Somebody got to be the final shot caller. So if black women want to be heads of household when men are included, you got to go get you a compromised man. Because you're not going to be able to do with a man that's battling for success out here. A man battling for the success is not going to turn it off just because he meets a woman. We got to be real about that. If you're really trying to be a successful man, you're not going to turn it off just because you met a woman. You can try to accommodate her in a lot of ways, but you're going to have to keep that party going if you're truly trying to be a successful man. Just is what it is. But I'm going to slow down right here because my main man, Mr. Me Too, has come up. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the mic. Glad to have you here, brother. Glad to have you here. Chime in wherever you like.
Morning. Salute to everybody. Yeah, quick opening statement. I'm willing to
Okay, I ain't
argue
hearing
that.
nothing. Mr. Me Too, are you talking?
Yes, I'm talking. Can y'all hear me in the chat? Well, I can't even
Okay,
see
I
the
see you
chat.
talking. I just can't hear you. So go right ahead. I'm gonna dip out and come back in. Do your thing. So I just want to make sure I can hear you too. So go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
my brother. And I see Tunnel Runners coming up. So Tunnel Runner, if I ain't back quick enough, just go right into your opening statement after Mr. Me Too finishes. Y'all go ahead.
All right. But yeah, I was about to say I'm willing to argue that we do got the same culture, and we just expressing it differently. I think black men and black women are are expressing their own version of white American culture, and that's not natural to us. That's why it's looking the way it's looking, and it is going to naturally oppose each other. But that's all I got to say.
All right. Sounds good, sir. Yes, and this is Tunnel Runner, and as it has been looking very difficult to find women that want to be married here in America. Most younger women, that's a second thought, way down the list of things they want. They want to be independent. They want their careers. They want to be able to do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. Having children, being married is way down the list of things that they want to do. And that's all colors and races. But, you have to see if you can find one who's willing to be on your program, who's going to be dedicated to you and to your family and understand what it takes to be married and do the things that you are looking for them to do. This has to be communicated, and they have to understand what it takes to make a marriage successful. And I have been finding that that kind of situation is usually from a woman who is more has been raised the way that wants to be a wife, that wants to be a mother. That's one of their goals in life. If it's not one of their goals in life, they're going to be very difficult for you to turn them around that way. And in America, this femininity, not femininity, but but these women rights bills and stuff like that, it makes it very difficult for you to stay married and to be successful. And I'll stop right there.
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you, Mr. Me Too. I'm sorry I missed yours, but hey, technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. I didn't have my volume turned up, but we also got Bad Black Gamer here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Bad Black Gamer get in here. You got it, my brother. You got it.
Hey, good morning, fam. Salutes to Roger and salutes to the chat. Hopefully, y'all can hear me okay today.
Yeah, we hear you. All right. You don't want to ask though. You don't want to.
Hey, Roger, man, I'm mad at you, man. What kind of life you living over there, man? You just literally saying dudes buying cars so they can just get bust down in the car. I'm like, that's
What?
wild.
Ain't that why we got cars to make it easy to get her in a position to bust her down? Is that not why we got
I mean,
cars?
I'm thinking like we getting in to pick them up, not to bust them down in the car too. I thought trying to just get their attention.
Whoa. When you got your first car, you was busting them down in the car because you didn't
Hey,
have
look,
you didn't have
Roger,
car money and hotel money. Not some
Roger.
of y'all did. Some of y'all did, but I know when I got no, they was getting busted down right there.
Yeah, some
Nah, Roger. I mean,
had to pull
like
up at the
Roger,
park.
back in school, we couldn't take them home because our parents are home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you busting down in the car, but I'm like, you saying grown ass men getting cars so they can bust them down in the car, so they got somewhere
Hey,
over having a place.
I was
God damn.
eight. I was 18 and old when I got my first car, and I ain't had no hotel money. It is what it is. I mean, hey, some of y'all come from money, and I'm cool with that. I'm not gonna be out here fronting like I did. No, I will bust you down right there in the car. The car was so I have a place to bust you down and a vehicle to get you somewhere I can bust you down. That's what the car was for.
Damn, Roger. That's what they doing over there.
Yes, sir.
Realistically, if you didn't have a car, you had to wait on her schedule. You could sneak over there when she say it's cool to come. But what young lady was finna get an apartment when she, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about folks 18 and old. What young lady 18 and 21 was finna have a place you can come bust them down there? There wasn't a whole lot of that going on, from what I could tell.
Well, I can say back in my city, it seemed to always be a house full of girls between the ages of 18 to 23, like a house full of them. And they didn't mind having, I didn't know where and that's kind of odd because I never knew, thinking back on it, it wasn't no mothers there. Definitely wasn't no fathers, but it wasn't no mothers there, but it was always 3 or 4 girls.
She was getting bust down too. That's why she wasn't worried about her daughters getting bust down in the house.
That is strange, a thing thinking back on it. But go ahead, fellas.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, damn, Roger. You talking about they buying a car so they should get bust down in the car? I'm thinking you like, okay, they could, guys get cars just so we can, so we could be attracted to women. Got a nice little coupe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Convertible.
What? That's the same thing. It's the same thing. I get a car so she'll get in the car. It's technically, I got a car to be more attractive. It's easier for me to pull up on the chick and she get in if I actually got a car. If I don't got a car, I gotta actually talk to her, quote unquote, spit game, get her to see things from my. But when you got a car, you can just tell chicks to get in. It ain't gonna happen every time, but let's be realistic. When you get, and it depends on where you come from. You in Chicago, it's winter outside. You pull up on a chick, you think she don't want to get in the car?
I'm telling you what, I ain't gonna mess with no more Chicago women now. Now that I know that, man, I ain't messing with no more Chicago women. They something else up there, man. Yeah, they bust down in the car like that. Damn. But no, I'm just messing with you, Roger. But nah, these women don't. Like you said something earlier, like women buy houses and go into debt to stunt on other women. They also want to get married just to stunt on other women. They're not really trying to build no relationship or no family with no man in America. That's just something that they need to check off their list so they can stunt on other women, and then they can disregard the man when they get ready to, and go and go live out their whole lives. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the mentality right now of a lot of women, or try to find them a white zaddy. You know what I'm saying? And that's also so they can stunt on other women. So I'll land my plane right there.
Yeah, see, certain things they do, there's going to be some intersectionality. I'm going to get a house so I can stunt on women, and I'll get a house so I can provide for Zaddy. See, if I can get me a Zaddy that they ain't got no place to live, he might stay with me, So, I mean, women do stuff like that. It is, but that's what I'm saying. Even though we're doing similar things, we're not sharing a culture. You know what I'm saying? That's not sharing cultures. Men get home so they can put a family somewhere. Women get home so they can control their situation. Let's be real.
First of all, Roger, men want to have families because we want to settle down. We want to focus on one woman. We want to save money. We want to build, and we want to pass on a legacy. Like black women ain't thinking about none of that. They just trying to get what they can get.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna say, when it comes down to it, and I had a recent conversation with an older lady about this. If you want to be realistic, a man doesn't need anything beyond a studio apartment. That's it. If you remove women and you remove having a family, what you need more than a studio apartment for?
Well, I need a console game. I need a game set. I need video games.
Yeah, but where you gonna play?
I need a TV and studio do, but I need a TV and a video game system there. I'm good.
No. I'm not saying what you're gonna put in the studio apartment, but I'm just saying if once you remove women and children, a man don't need no nice house. He don't need to be living in this particular exclusive neighborhood. Like he don't need all that stuff. Studio apartment pretty much will suffice. It's nice to have bigger things, but let's keep it real. We get that for, that's going to be because I'm going to get married one day. What a grown man need with a 3-bedroom apartment for, and he ain't got no wife and no kids.
And they want the 3-bedroom for the guest room because they want to invite people over.
Yeah, but I'm just saying realistically, we're not. It's not for us.
No, it's not for us. It's for the
Do
woman. That's
y'all
what she
think the
wants.
average?
That's
Do
what she
y'all
wants.
think the average brother now feel that way? Say let's say from 45 to 18 or down. Do y'all think they feel that way?
Yep. Yep.
I mean,
100%.
they're going to get stuff for women. This gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just think the women that are going to reap the benefit is going to just change more. Because when you start looking at younger guys, like people keep saying, "Well, I see these younger guys and they messing with these Hispanics now and all." Yeah, you're gonna see that kind of shift because people are figuring it out in their own way, and some of them are getting because they're coming to places like this where we just telling people what the reality is, and they just, hey, well, you know what? I don't need to go through that struggle first. I'm just gonna go check on something else. So they're gonna get there one way or the other. You know, they're gonna get there one way or the other. And since you only have one life to live, do you want to live your life struggling to make it work with a black woman, or do you want to make it just work with any woman? And then on top of that, you don't have that sense of self that people have by having their fathers around. You know, there's a lot of things from a mental standpoint that you go with because of who your father is. If you're not even presented with an actual father, you don't have those things to even, like me. I wanted to be with a black woman 100% for sure, because I see blackness a certain way because of I actually had a father in the picture. You see what I'm saying? And how he represented what blackness was, he made it a cool thing. So, and, you know, and whether the people know it or not, the average person wants to earn their father's approval. So you do stuff in a certain way because of who your father is. But if you've been brought up where you don't even really know your daddy or don't have a real relationship with your father, if you even know his name, all those things kind of go away. So I do think you're gonna have a lot more younger black men who are gonna date non-black women because there's no sense that I have to get a black woman because you don't see your father. You're not trying to repeat what your father did.
I get dating, but I'm talking more so with, like you say, how, right back then men didn't need a whole lot as far as physical things, a studio apartment, your nice TV, your nice easy chair, whatever form of food. Long as you got that, that was pretty much good. But do you see that the younger boy or the younger men nowadays still feel that way, or you think that they want more than?
What There's going to be a section of younger men who would never trust women for real, for real. So yeah, they're gonna probably go more along the lines of a studio apartment. Yeah, there will be some who still will buy a home, but it's not going to be about a woman. It's going to be about a home because I just want to own a home, so I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be doing that for economic reasons. The woman won't actually be involved. So they're not going to buy bigger homes. They'll buy a small home with only 2 bedrooms because they don't need nothing with a second floor. They'll buy a ranch home much quicker. They don't need all that space because I never, what I'm saying, for that particular person, they're never gonna have the ideal of moving a woman in there and having kids. So I think it's going to affect the housing markets very much as well. Honestly, I think it's affecting the housing market now because a lot of folks are talking about how these people can't do this and can't do that, and you got people who are going to stay at home longer. Well, it's going to be some black folks involved in that too. Now I know some brothers going to be thrown out because they just a nigga eat my food to their mama after they're 18. They just some nigga eat my food. I get that, but they're not going to be trying to buy the biggest homes because they just don't feel the need to. If you cannot
Also,
trust a
Roger,
woman, well, go ahead.
no, I was gonna add something right quick. Just think about it like this. Think about what men do after they get divorced. Like they downsize. They don't go buy another house and with 3 bedrooms and shit. No, they go get themselves a studio apartment. I know myself when I got divorced. Like I lost. I had a house when I had a family, but when I go through divorce, all I did was go get a place that they had everything I needed. Like a little apartment, whatnot, and maybe a room for my kids to come over and sleep in. You know what I'm saying? And that's how dudes do. Like you just look at your divorce guys. Do they go buy another house and a better car and all that stuff? No. You know what I'm saying? So
Speaking as
I see
one of
that.
those divorced guys, I definitely agree with you because when I left everything, I divorced my wife and I went and moved into a rooming house. You know, I didn't take nothing but a truck and went and moved into a room with and I stayed there for about a good 4 or 5 months until I went and got another place. But I like following what y'all saying. I got that place thinking that I'm gonna try to reconcile with my wife, but that didn't work. So, but I'm saying though, my question really is focusing not on guys our age and our age group. I'm talking about the younger guys because it seems like what I'm seeing now, the younger guys are starting to, especially black brothers, they starting to feed more into this. I gotta have this just for the sake of having this, not for the just like the women. And I'm almost willing to say they wanting that stuff just to stun on other men.
Well, I
So
mean,
Well, I think
you say
Well, I think
what
a lot
now?
of the young brothers I see realistically are actually just getting, they getting the minimum. They're not actually even trying to date women much. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to bust down, like kind of like what Roger's saying. They just trying to have a place so they can bust down at. You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily trying to move a woman in with them. I see a lot of young dudes just like, if they dealing with women at all, like they not really, they live in the minimum lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? They might
well,
have a nice
A
car, but they're not
minimum
necessarily gonna try.
lifestyle on the 15th floor of a penthouse, where they working 70, 80 hours a week just to try to maintain a certain lifestyle.
well, you're always gonna have a section of men that's still gonna be going to impress the hoes, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Because he want it to be he want to meet a woman where she can't really argue about doing what he want her to do. He want to impress that woman. What I am saying though, you're always gonna have that section of men, but the majority of men, okay, if you don't see yourself trying to actually be with the woman, trying to get married with the woman, you're not gonna spend the money on that stuff. Because we as men, we think about money in a totally different way. Because we don't expect somebody to give us money randomly the way women expect somebody to give them money randomly. So you're gonna look at how much you are able to truly earn, and you're gonna start making different decisions that make sense based on what you earn. And when it comes down to it, I think the average guy ain't gonna be looking about no nice house, nice neighborhood. He got a basement, first floor, and an upstairs, because he don't need all that. What's the point in getting all that?
I'm understanding what y'all saying, and I'm sure that we looking at it from our perspective as at this age group. But I'm really trying to focus in on the
Well,
younger fellas because this
I,
is what I'm
Well,
saying
well,
the
well,
younger
think
fellas
about it.
do.
Well, think about it like this.
I am saying
I'm
younger men. I
the,
Yeah,
understand there's gonna be some men who gonna stunt like their mama taught them to do, because they gonna be acting like girls for a while. But then you're gonna have men who gonna have to make real financial decisions.
yep,
And those financial decisions gonna make some stuff change. And maybe they start with maybe they do get a house with a first floor, second floor, and a basement, but then they might end up selling that house to get something smaller, because now it turns into a financial issue. It's not about trying to stunt no more. He's a real man.
right,
He understands in the
right,
real world, don't nobody really care about him for real. So he'll
yep,
have to make some financial adjustments. What's one of
yeah.
the what's going to be one of the biggest things that can change his situation at that moment? I need to sell his house.
I
Yeah, see, man, I
definitely
think
get
I
what
think men
y'all
are not gonna be
saying.
trying to. I think men are not gonna be trying to take care of women in the future. Is what I'm trying to say. They're gonna do stuff to stunt and get the women to bust them down, right? So if they got the money, they making $500,000 a year. Hell yeah, they're gonna try to live in a penthouse so they can impress some woman or impress a bunch of women. You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna be
That's
playing for
the that's
keeps,
what I'm saying. They not doing it to impress women. They doing it to impress to just to say I'm moved. I done moved up. I'm in this position right now. To
So,
not and it's not really the women. It's like impressing white America pretty much is what
and
but you gotta have
it seemed
you
like
gotta
the
make the money. You gotta
motivation
make the
for a
money to
lot
do
of the
that,
brothers doing. They it's like they stunning just for the sake of stunning.
No.
Was it and it's not women involved in it.
Mr. Me Too. I get
Go ahead.
what you're saying. And what I'm saying is they may do some of that initially because they're gonna start off thinking like a woman like their mamas. But as time goes on, they'll just sell that. Because it ain't gonna make sense anymore. They're gonna be a person that's aging. He's gonna be seeing what he makes on a regular basis, and he's gonna start making financial adjustments so his life can be better. Because that's what men do. We don't stay in the same place from a financial perspective. Women will do that because they're always expecting free money to come from somewhere. Men are they're gonna adjust to the fact that free money ain't coming. Therefore, I must make adjustments. So maybe he started out with that penthouse. That don't mean the next house gonna be as big. Maybe he bought something for $500,000. But you know what he might do 6 years down the road? He might sell that thing that was for $500,000 so he can go to something that's only $100,000. Even if he is making good money. Because why? He don't need it. You see what I'm saying? I get you saying the guy can make a certain kind of decision at maybe 24, 25. When he's 32, he may say, "Nah, I ain't gonna keep paying this." You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but listen, let's follow this through. Realistically, by the time a guy can afford to get a place, especially in the last 20 years, 30 years, let's say the last 20 to 15 years, by the time a guy can afford to get a place, he's around his mid 30s. And then the better the place, the longer that'll take in some cases. But he's in his mid 30s. Now, he done spent all of this time trying to achieve something, wasting all of this energy to acquire a property simply, like you say, just you want to stunt like his mama, you know? But my thing is, well, I guess I should say this, fellas, young brothers out there, do not waste all of your energy and time trying to acquire property or anything for the sake of acquiring it. Know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
What?
Like, just because I'm seeing a lot of brothers just, they out here busting their ass, grinding to try to obtain stuff that really don't have no significant value in their own personal life other than something superficial.
What?
And go ahead.
Mr. Me Too. I'm gonna say most men don't buy a house until they got a family. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even
used to be the case. But I think I read somewhere where black men homeownership has increased in the last
It has increased. It has increased, but that don't mean
at the same time the black man marriage has decreased. So it ain't black men buying homes for necessarily marriage at this point.
No. I understand that. What I believe is happening, brother, because I'm thinking about it from all sides. The younger guys, they still starting off with apartments. Okay. Now, if you never get married, why would you end up getting a house? You're gonna get a house for your retirement. That's what you're gonna do. Okay, you want to make sure you got something stable so when you're an older person, you don't have to deal with certain things. And this is also a cultural difference. We're going to get houses so we can be okay as we're going through life and we'll be stable. We know we got our stuff straight. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to go out and buy the biggest house at that particular point in time. Now, because of social media and certain things, there have been some younger people with bigger influxes of money early. But those are not the majority of people. Those are just flash in the pan folks. You know what I'm saying? It's a 22-year-old out there who making $300,000 a year because they made it in the social media world. Okay, yeah, but on a regular basis, people ain't gonna be doing that. You know what I'm saying? That was just them. There was a new thing that kind of popped off, which is social media. It was a new form of wealth. Everybody is not going to come to social media and then make $300,000 a year. That's not a reality. So the average person won't even be able to make that move in the first place. Number two, once you've already been a normal person, you got a regular apartment because you wanted a place to bust down chicks. As you get older, you're going to make better financial decisions anyway. So you're going to buy a regular crib that you know you're going to be good at. I'm pretty sure a lot more ranch homes are going to be sold. If you don't know what a ranch home is, that's the house with one floor. because brothers ain't gonna even be planning to have families. I think that's the way it's gonna go. You know, and once you got a house, that changes up your whole dynamic. And but again, our culture is different because when women buy a house, they buy a house to not have a family. Men get homes to have a family. It's an intersectional thing that we both bought a home, but we bought a home for two totally different reasons. You know, and we're not sharing a culture because we're not in these houses together. Again, you got a man that wants to be head of the household, so he get his own place. You got a woman who wants to be head of the household, so she get her own place. We're not cohabitating like that. You know, I'm just saying on a realistic standpoint, I understand Pookie gonna live at her place. I get that, y'all. But I'm saying for the most part, we're not gonna cohabitate like that. Most black men are not gonna be living with a black woman. That's a reality. That's why they keep having all these stats and these things about what's going to happen in 2030, what's going to happen in 2040, what's going to happen in 2050. We expect women to be single. That means we're not going to be together at all. Because I'm going to be at my crib, she's going to be at hers. But I'm going to let me let Hot Sauce Stepdaddy get in and get the flow. Hot Sauce Stepdaddy, you got the mic, my brother. How you doing?
What's happening? What's happening? I see you up here hanging out with two of the fellas, Bad Black Gamer and some other untrustworthy ass nigga.
Damn,
Man,
damn, you gonna come in like that?
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
talking about? What you talking about? I'm just stating the facts. Now, I think men generally, in the past, we have bought homes after we have gotten married for our families. That's why women in general own more homes. Single women own more homes than single men. We do things practically. We do not buy homes for the sake of buying homes, unless we're exceptionally wealthy and we need something to do with our money and we need tax breaks. The average man buys a home after he gets married for the sake of his family, right? But in this age of social media, in age of information, where information is coming to us quickly, and we're understanding the changes, we're understanding the divorce laws and stuff like that. I apologize for the background noise. Um, guys, it's smarter now to buy your home before you get married. That way, if you get divorced, she leave with what she came with, which is usually nothing. And I think the young guys are going to start seeing that. They're going to start making changes. They're going to start acquiring pieces of their wealth that they want to keep for themselves before they get married. I think that's the smartest thing to do in the age that we live now. What say you, fellas?
I mean, that's just real talk. We some men are gonna buy homes just to guarantee that if they do get married, the woman can't take the home. You know, I gotta encourage that. Get your home before she
They're
even
gonna,
in the picture. You know,
they gonna put it in their mama name. They're gonna put it in trust and put it in their mama name.
well, I mean, they might, but the main thing is as long as they have it before they get married, it won't be part of the divorce settlement. You know,
Yeah, ultra wealthy people are starting to put things in the name of their family. But what does that show? Having family is ultimately the most important thing. But until you're sure of the family that you have, you're gonna have to have protections.
yeah. I mean, honestly, with the way because of we're not of the same culture, I would encourage any young man to get a house before he gets married. It was
Absolutely.
it was normally a response to being married. Okay, I got married, I got a wife now. Now I got to do X, Y, and Z because we might have some kids. Or heck, back in the day, you get married, kids weren't coming that much longer. It's gonna be a whole lot of sex going on, so the kids was gonna be coming pretty soon. So you had to, once you got married, you do your little honeymoon thing. But after that, it's time to look for a house because these kids gonna be here in a minute. You know,
Yep.
so we got separate cultures going on. We just not we're not moving the same way to reach the same goals. Black men have a total different goal set from a majority standpoint than black women have. And
Agreed.
let's keep it real. Black women. Oh, well, go ahead and say what you're gonna say before I say what I'm gonna say, because I'm finna
No, I
spin
was
in a little bit
gonna.
different direction.
I was gonna say I agree with you. We were doing a thought a thought experiment, and um, the thought experiment is black men did not marry black women. If they marry any other women, they're going to get a better outcome anyway. So I agree with your assessment.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say, from a cultural perspective, do we really match up? Because black women are now insisting to be LGBT people, which my thing is, I'm not finna trash the LGBT. I know they control airwaves and whatnot. This is not a diss to them. This is just a reality that we have to think about. Black women are moving more and more toward LGBT. Black men are not. You know, we have some guys that's in the LGBT, but it's always a small percentage. Okay.
Well, they'll align themselves with them because they think they're going to get
a very small percentage.
No, but the thing is, we are not going in that direction, period. But they are. A lot of black women are choosing to participate in LGBT lifestyle. So therefore, that being the case, a lot of straight black men are going to move to different women just because of that, because we're not looking to end up with a woman that's LGBT. It's going to be somewhat of a conflict of interest with a lot of men, because a straight man going to be looking for a straight woman, you know what I'm saying, so he can, you know, have his family with and you know, move things forward. They're not going to necessarily be looking to end up with a LGBT woman. That being the case, I mean, black women's culture is more going toward that. Black men's culture is going away from that. We're not sharing the same culture. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? We're just not sharing the same culture. Now, don't y'all say nothing about no LGBT folks is gonna get my channel flagged or anything like that. But the point is, we're not moving in the same direction. I didn't insult them or anything like that. I'm just pointing out an actual factor that we're not moving in the same direction.
Right, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But let me say this: I think they're doing that because they're trying to team up with them against straight black men politically. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to have them help them beat us into submission. I think there's a lot of that going on.
That's just women going to where the power, the current power at it.
And they want to live their lives for themselves, and a great majority of them don't want children because they don't want the financial responsibility.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, why they're doing it don't make a difference, because they are doing it. And at the end of the day, we ain't going there with them. We can't stop them from going, but we ain't going there with them. Black men done pretty much made that clear that that's just not what we interested in. Yeah.
When I think about it, every black woman I know just about has got like a friend that's like, you know, part of that other, you know, lifestyle, that's like married and all this other stuff, and like they heavily involved with them. And you know, like when they going out hanging out, a lot of times they going out to hang out with those particular friends. You know what I'm saying? They're not just going to hang out with other you know, straight girlfriends or stuff like that, you know. And part of that, I also noticed that the community also encourages them to be a lot more promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the time, I've had success with like you know, meeting up with a woman or something, and you know, getting her to bust down. You know, if she got like a LG, you know, well, if she got like a particular friend, that made the situation easier because that person always encouraged them to misbehave. You know, especially when they on their girls trip and stuff like that. But I'll let you guys, you know, see how you guys feel about that.
I mean, my thing is, at the end of the day, they're heavily, they're more heavily participating in the culture that black men don't have interest in being a part of. And that's where it makes a difference. Are we interested in those women? You know, yeah, you'll have a man that'll mess with a woman who will mess with other women from time to time, but those are not normally the women we're trying to marry. You know, you'll do that to having basically men will do that so they can have a threesome. Let's just keep it real. We'll mess with those.
That's what it's about.
So they can have a threesome. But when they trying to get serious about a woman to be with, when you're getting with a woman to be with, now you're sharing a culture. Black men is not trying to share it in the culture of alternative lifestyles. We ain't mad at the people who doing it, but that's just not where the interest is for black men. That being the case, that's a different culture. It's that simple at the end of the day.
although I have seen a rise in brothers actually productive uh, brothers who do believe in black male leadership start to turn towards polygamy, doing a polygamy lifestyle, and they are doing it correctly in some of the small cases that I've seen. But that seems to be a thing that's rising too.
Well, I mean, polygamy is different. It ain't like it's LGBT. You know what I'm saying? So kind of different. But yeah, I mean,
Right, right,
I
right,
don't
right.
see that as any kind of real issue. But what I'm saying is
No, I
black
think
men and
that's a
black
good thing.
women. Yeah, what I'm saying though is black men and black women, we don't actually have the same culture. That's ever since '64, we've been moving more and more away from having the same culture. I ain't saying we didn't used to,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
once women were truly free, because they say we weren't truly free until after the civil rights movement, we've been steady going more and more separate from each other at the end of the day. And now my thing is we can get upset women are going where they're going, but the reality is most men don't care, you know. But women try to spin narratives to make us believe something. And why am I doing this show today? Because of some of the stuff that we said yesterday, as if we are moving together. We're not. How do you have people sharing a culture and 75% of the women is unmarried? If we sharing a culture, wouldn't we be marrying them women?
Makes a lot of sense to me, Roger, because like you said, like you're talking about we went from being like the most married in the '60s to being now like the least married. We definitely got different
I
cultures
mean,
now.
we was getting married, jumping the broom during slavery when they didn't even count that, and we was doing it. You know what I'm
On
saying?
our own, yeah, on our own.
Now you talk to a lot of brothers, you can't pay them to marry a chick.
See,
Then you got
but
a
this
lot of
all
other
kind of
brothers
go.
who
Go
want to
ahead.
get married but can't find anybody they deem worthy of it. You know, when they look amongst black women, which is why you've had more and more black men look amongst other women. And people say it's a problem, but realistically, it's a natural thing to do. You want to get married. You've been wanting to get married to your own. You know, black women supposed to be our own. We see they not good enough to marry. Eventually, you got to go talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Who white or who's Spanish? You know, you got to go talk to somebody else.
Hey, look here, Roger.
If we're being honest, the presentation has just been so poor, bro. You just can't convince these brothers to go in the store and buy it, man. The product is
Well,
just bad.
well, look at it like this. Like the only reason why I say I got married, that I was lucky enough to get married, is because I got married to somebody that I met her when she was young, and we got married in like 21, 22. If it hadn't been for that, I don't think I would have gotten married to anybody because I haven't seen anybody really, worth getting married to is like 30 and over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, there are factors that people don't think about. You can't have all these sons out here and their daddy done got divorced, and they're gonna put them as even more confident in asking some woman to marry him. It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? You got all these brothers out here and their daddies done got divorced. What they think of marriage? Man, I see how now I look at stuff in a probably a different way. But if I were to look at certain factors, this stuff I've shared. My parents got divorced. My daddy ended up moving in his brother's house. Like that ain't
It's
no
not
great
appealing.
story to tell for a grown man who taking care of children. Now he got to go live with his brother. Like who wants that?
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I know. Trust me, I've lived that. I saw it.
What I'm
I've lived
saying
it.
though, there's a lot of sons now who have some experience like that, where
That's
they
true.
daddy was the guy who got divorced. That's not gonna, for a lot of brothers, that's gonna make them think twice about getting married and make them say, I ain't gonna get married at all. The truth is, once a man gets divorced, he usually ends up back at his parents' house. So there's a lot of brothers out there that seen their dad going back to grandma's house.
And there's a lot of brothers. There's a lot of brothers whose mothers were never married, and they were alienated from their fathers. That's not a good. That's not. It's just not a good advertisement for marriage, bro.
Yeah. So from a cultural perspective, we're seeing stuff a little different. You know, I'm not saying what's wrong or right. I'm just saying what the reality is. You know, and you got a lot of women online doing the best they can to beg, you know what I'm saying, for men to do stuff. And you know, there's a lot of women who talking about what men need to do this, and men ain't done enough for this. And you know, if you want me to go out with you, but you don't want to take care of all my bills, like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Your culture is something definitely different than mine, because where I come from, if I start paying, I don't need to take you anywhere.
Hey, look here, Roger.
That's not what you do.
They don't even want you. They don't even want to go out with you. They just want you to pay a bill. They don't even want to go out with you. Every time you should just pay a bill.
Which says that, you know, we're looking at things from two different cultural perspectives. You know, that's because that's not the culture that most black men are gonna come from. You know, and if you just want your bills paid, you know, you need to stop being fake. Just tell me, come over there. Tell me what the price is. Let me come hit it.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
It's 100% transactional.
What the thing is, why are we trying to be fake about it? Just tell me it's $100, and let me make a decision if I want to pay $100 to get it or not. Why are we being fake about going out? Why are we wasting time?
That's pretty much where it done made it to now. But let me ask y'all these two questions. What do y'all think the basis of black men culture, and what do y'all think the basis of black women culture is?
I think black men's culture is performance. Black women's culture is begging.
First of all, I think our culture's never changed. I think we've always had the same culture. Like, I think we've always been traditional. Black men have always been traditional. I think, you know, they've changed, but we haven't changed. We still want the same things we wanted in the 60s and the 50s. We still want now.
Well, I mean, you could take that to the 1850s. You know, you can go far back as you want. But again, black men's culture has been about performance. Black women's culture is begging. Now, I'm not mad about their culture being begging. The thing is, you know, it's about what they're begging about and who they want to do stuff for. And at the end of the day, black women have a culture of trying to serve white supremacy. That's really what's going on with them. And because they're trying to serve white supremacy, they're not aligned to the average black man. It's that simple. Because when you're a white supremacist, you know, if the brother want to get a home, that's problematic. If you want to start a business, that's problematic. If you want to make more money from, you know, 1 year to the next, that's problematic. Because the more successful any black man is, the more problems you call for white supremacy. And
you're a threat.
Black women prefer white supremacy. Let's think about it realistically. Black women do not like the idea of black men being in charge. If you start talking about the masses. And if you don't believe that, think in your own personal life. Where have you seen an example of black women desiring for black men to be in charge? Have you seen it anywhere? Have you seen it at your local church? You know, have you been part of some program where you saw that? Did you work for a company where you saw that? When have you seen black women desire for black men to be in charge?
Yeah, what we have to learn to accept is they do not want husbands. They do not want to be married. They only want children for financial reasons. As long as they can get a financial benefit from children, they are willing to have children. If that financial benefit ever goes away, they're going to stop having children. You got to accept it.
Yeah, I'm going to step away for about 2-3 minutes. Y'all keep the party going. Bronk, I think you need to. Oh, Urban Reed just dropped the link. I was going to say, but I just noticed I got a phone that I need to go make sure I still got this phone. So y'all can keep going for a second. Bronk, come on up, Bronk. I try to, if you come on, I can get you to make an open statement before I walk away. Okay? So come on, Bronk. Don't be all slow about it. Okay? Don't be all slow. And shout out to Urban Reed for dropping the link. Shout out to you, Urban Reed. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, we've got to learn to accept that it is not their desire to to be married. It's not their desire to be a support system to a man. They want to be single. They want
No,
to be on their own, man.
Well, here's the thing: they're not our women. They're not our
hold
women.
on. I think that's very misleading. Black women do want to be married. They just don't want to be married to a nigga.
Yep, they're not our women.
Anytime somebody else is offering, they're 100% cool with getting married.
Yep,
You know.
I know this perfect.
And I'm saying we as
black
black
woman.
men, we got to stop this. Hold on, I'm just saying we as black men, we got to stop this nonsense about saying they don't want to get married. I don't think we're doing it deliberately. We're just looking at it from our own perspective. But we'll be lying to ourselves if we accept that they don't want to get married. No, they don't want to get married to niggas.
Mm-hmm.
You seen as a nigga to them. And the thing is, we got to, wrap our minds around that. We seen as niggas to them. And they don't want to be married to a nigga. Because being married to a nigga means the nigga get to make decisions and she's supposed to submit to the nigga. Again, in any situation you ever been in, where have you seen where black women wanted black men to be in charge? Did you even see it at a picnic? Because I bet money y'all ain't even seen it at a picnic. You ain't went to a picnic where the women wanted the men to be in charge. You ain't worked for no company where the women wanted the men to be in charge. You ain't went to no church where the women wanted the men to be in charge. You ain't went to no school where the women wanted the men to be in charge. You ain't never had the experience where you was in a place where black women literally wanted black men in charge, unless you probably like a Muslim or something. You know what I'm saying? But there is no desire for black men to be in charge amongst the women. It just don't exist.
Let me
And
ask you.
now that I got these two brothers in, hold fast because I got two new
Yeah.
guests.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna let them get their open statement in while I go run out real quick. So let's see. Y'all be killing me. Reset a trifling nigga is here. So I'm gonna let him in. And right after Reset a trifling nigga, we're gonna let Bronchi in.
Let Bronk go first. Let Bronk go first.
All right, well, Bronchi, you got it first, y'all. I'm gonna dip away for a minute or two. I'll be right back. But y'all do your thing. Go ahead.
All right, what up, Roger? What up, chat? What up, panel? Excellent point so far, man. I do believe definitely black women culture and black men culture is two completely different things. But I want to introduce something. Even within the black male space, we have different cultures, right? You have the black men that were raised by single mothers or were raised in families with matriarchal families where women ran everything, and their culture is even different from ours because they particularly protect black female culture. So I think that needs to be kind of looked at as well. The fact that even within our own space, we still have some issues there. And this is we're essentially the minority. All the men in this
Yes.
space in the black manosphere are the vast minority, and we're kind of up against a majority that includes more than just black women. So I'm laying my plan with that opening statement.
Okay. All right. This other ungrateful, ungodly nigga. Go ahead.
Shots fired.
Man, he always up to no good, man.
Man,
Reset is a trifling nigga. This man.
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
Thank you for the
it's on you.
introduction. Thank you for
I
the
knew
introduction.
I knew he wasn't gonna say that, so he got properly introduced.
Thank you.
Ignorant, man.
Well, shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to you, Roger. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you, good brother. If you don't mind muting up while
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm doing a little construction work over here. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
know cocaine,
Trifling
man.
ass nigga.
Crack rock. Yeah, that's crack rock, y'all. That's what crack rock sounds like when you buying bulk. So just let y'all nigga know because this dude is a dope fiend. So anyway, black women and black men, I think I'm gonna say the culture is the same because just like black women are catty amongst each other, black men are catty too. I mean, look at this nigga right here, disrespecting my name, right? Can't respect other black men, you know. So you got that cattiness right there. Black women don't like working together. Black men don't like working together, right? And outside of this space, most black men don't believe in black male leadership. Does Obama really believe in black leadership, black male leadership, y'all? No, he does not, right? Does Jesse Jackson really believe in black male leadership as a Democrat? Impossible. So, you know, we got to go beyond. We got to go beyond a productive black man. We gotta push towards righteousness. We gotta push towards supremacy. We gotta push towards putting ourselves before others.
I like that word,
Because
supremacy.
otherwise, we're just gonna be just like women, right? We have to have our own environments, right? We don't conform to the environment. We create our own environments, right? And if we look at the most wealthiest people, wealthiest black men, most of the wealthiest black men don't believe in black male leadership. And we keep it 100 because if that was the case, niggas would have been left and created their own NBA and NFL. If that was the case, we would have been shopping with our own. If that was the case, we would have been had our own Chinatowns. But the proof is in the pudding. So we can talk about these subcultures, we can talk about black male leadership, and we can talk about the average black. And then on top of that, right? And I'm going to land my plane here. Black men, we could criticize black women on not getting married. Black men are not getting married. And I don't care why, the reason why. It doesn't matter. Majority of black men are not married. During Uru's generation, 70% of niggas were married, right? And so, how can I be wrong when the numbers state that black men are not married? It doesn't matter why, right? Because if we cared about marriage, we would have been married somebody else. But we don't care about marriage, right? We care about appeasing black women. Because deep down inside, it was so many of us that was raised by a single mother. We try to make up for that father not being there. Now, while he was there, it doesn't really matter. Black men try to make that up. The average black man tries to make that up, which is not our fault. And I'll leave it there.
Hey man,
Yeah, you
I
cooking.
got you. I got to agree with most of what this nigga said. I mean, other than crack. I mean, sir,
I
I
do
use
too, man. I
cocaine.
do too. Even the crack
I,
stuff.
I use cocaine, not crack, sir. Not crack.
Yeah,
No,
that's kind of how I started off. I'm arguing the same thing, that we are expressing the same culture, and it's not our culture. We left our culture when we started accepting the fact that it ain't even a fact. Start accepting that propaganda that the white man ice is colder. That's when we lost our culture. That's when black men and black women started adopting and expressing white culture to its fullest, white supremacist culture to its fullest. And this is what we're seeing right now. That's why I was saying the young brothers, they not even think. And I got a different perspective on a lot of this. My job that I used to do, it put me in thousands and thousands of different houses all over this country. And when I realized the position I was in, I started doing little pseudo tests and just mentally documenting things. And I'm trying to tell y'all, it's a lot of it's a lot of us that we express white supremacy culture, even though we don't think we express it. We done bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. So yes, we do share the same culture at this point in the United States, and it's just expressed a little different.
Absolutely.
And it's not our culture. I mean, right there.
Right? I mean, because at the end of the day, women find ways to exist inside the culture. Black men today, we all of us are guilty of finding ways to exist in the culture. If you don't want your own and have your own, like not dating a black woman, that is not self-hate. But not having your own and not wanting your own for your own nation, that is self-hate. And we express that every
Word,
day.
word.
We express that every day.
You guys are
Right?
making
Not
some
owning and having your
very
own shit.
valid points. You're making some very valid points. I think the two of you guys are really hitting on something that we need to address. I do like the fact that we're
I
addressing.
missed it.
No,
I'm sure they didn't, but I
Y'all,
missed it, so I
I,
ain't gonna say anything about it.
I want to I want to apologize to the audience. The show is going to go back downhill. Roger's back. What you got to say, Roger?
no.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna get
I'm gonna sum
better.
it up really
Whatever
quickly.
nonsense they were saying, I can.
What I'm going to sum up is really quickly. I'm saying is that if you don't want your own and strive to have your own, that is self-hate. And when you told me that I'm wrong about getting married, it doesn't matter the reason why black men are not getting married. If you look at it, Hoover's generation, and you look at now, black men are not getting married. So we may say we value family, we may say we want family, but we're not. There's millions of women in the world. We don't have to marry black women. We can marry any
That's
other
right.
woman in the world, but we're not.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
That's right.
I think we are actually making an adjustment to that right now because black men, I mean, we're more married than black women, so we're obviously making some adjustment to do that. But things happen in trends and over time. It just took time for black men to realize where black women were at when it comes to marriage, and now that we're starting to realize, we are taking other choices.
Well, in the future, fine, but right now, today, the numbers say we don't value marriage. Now, in the future, great, no problem. But today,
Yeah,
we don't value marriage.
I see it.
I agree with both of you. I think it lands in the middle. I think we as black men need to actively seek to get married, wherever
Yeah,
that may be, with whoever it may be.
yeah.
We need to actively seek
Well,
to create families.
I do believe we were doing that. We just didn't understand there was a resistance on the other side, which I still don't think the average black man even knows. But because we're starting to marry women who are different, the numbers are starting to pick back up, and I think they're going to continue to pick up because more of us are starting to realize what the actual problem is.
The
Yeah, I
world
think
doesn't reward the world doesn't reward trying. It's either shit or get off the pot.
well, it
Well,
makes
I think
sense
that's what
that
we're
less
doing.
black men are. It makes sense that less black men are getting married when so many black women are getting married, right? Because typically the average black man is going to go after the black woman first. But black women today are essentially just kind of getting ran through in their 20s and 30s, and then they want to settle down when they about to, have to freeze them eggs, right? And so then the men who haven't figured it out yet are still pursuing women that done put them on the back burner all them years, right?
Yeah.
But then when they finally wake up, of course, they're going to naturally navigate to other races of women.
Yeah,
But it
but
takes time for a lot of these brothers to wake up.
I agree. I agree with that. But right now, what I'm saying, because we gotta stop this. We have to change our we have to change our perception. It's done or it's not. There's no in between. It's either it's finished or it isn't. And right
No,
now, it's we're not there yet. But that's the bottom line.
no, I can agree with that because my thing is something either is or it isn't. So I do agree with that sentiment. I just think the problem is it took black men a while to figure out that black men were
Right.
anti-marriage of black men because
Yep.
because when we do get married, they are the women we married the most. So it took us a while to figure it out, But
So
to me,
yes,
that's why I say our culture is different because even though we didn't quote unquote get it done, we were trying to get it done and they were not. And to me, that's obvious. No.
we shall see. And also, you trifling for eating in front of a 5-year-old, a hungry 5-year-old. That's some type.
Bro, I give him that biscuit. I give him the biscuit, bro. I give him the biscuit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, they had that dry biscuit.
A
Yo, shout out to
5-year-old
High
sitting in
Five.
front of you, hungry. My God, that's
First
what
of all, I'm gonna assume you got parents that's gonna feed you.
My
That's gonna be
God.
my first assumption anyway. But I'm gonna let that go because I got two other guests that need to get in here. We got AL that came up and we got Jado. So I'm gonna let that go for now. I may revisit it. But
Shout
AL,
out to the Blade Master.
AL, go ahead, my brother. Glad to see you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Roger?
We hear you very low. You very low.
AL Mobile in effect.
Well, I concede my time to Jado and to that other nigga go to hell. What did I say? Something funny? That was with all sincerity. That was with all sincerity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I received it with love. I received it with love.
Yeah, it's really hard to hear, but it's really low, bro. It's honestly, he's not. We can't hear you.
Look, I'm trying to be respectful of my atmosphere and my environment, and right now the atmosphere I'm in is a public library. But you know, I guess you niggas want me to act and sound niggerish in the public library. That I will not give you the honor of letting me.
Respect your environment, sir.
Go to hell and go to hell and go to
Mr. Evans.
No, it's all good. Wow. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, bro, I apologize. It sounded like you were eating bad cat. You got throat herpes. How about that?
All right. Well, let's make some room for Jado then. Appreciate you, AL, though. Appreciate you.
Okay, dope.
What up, Roger? What up, fellas? Hope y'all doing well, man. Salute to the chat. Salute, bro. Hey, fellas, we're genetically linked to these women, and we grew up around these women. So no matter what we say out our mouths, we have the same culture. It's impossible for that not to happen. We've lived around them. We came from them. So that's just undeniable. Now, are there certain, maybe there's a fringe number of men such as ourselves that are attempting to diverge from that culture.
Right.
I agree that's the case, but to say we don't have the same culture, that's just not true. You can't come from these people and be around these people. I'm sure, like, a lot of you guys are raised around them the whole time, most of at least your childhood, at the very least. To not develop the same culture is just impossible. It just doesn't happen. But we need to just recognize that and then make our own moves, man. So, and another point I like to make, like, just me being able to live overseas and stuff and observe other cultures, man, it kind of really, man, expanded my horizons. Look, man, like, a lot of stuff I didn't even notice that I was doing because I did it so much that I couldn't understand it until I was around some people that wasn't part of that culture. It's just stuff. Roger, you say it all the time. Your subconscious rules you. A lot of stuff we don't even notice we do. The brother made some fire points, man. Like, one thing that black men do, man, like he said, caddy, a lot of times we take pride in being petty, man. That's women's shit, man.
Say it again, bro.
That's female stuff. Being catty, he said cat. I agree too. And we don't even, man, a lot of times, man, and I have to check that with them myself too. So don't act like I'm on this throne and I'm looking down on my people. I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, the way we behave, a lot of times is very similar to black women. Not all the time, not for everyone. I'm just saying, if you really observe that. And I guess I'll leave it right there. Thanks for having me on.
Don't talk about hot sauce like that, man. Golly. Just gonna come in here
See,
and just
and you know, JL, I just want to say this real quick, man, because these other niggas think they know women, but you've been tricking these hoes since you were 8. That's 40 years in the game,
Mhm.
bro. So
Seven, seven,
go,
7.5, brother. 7.5.
oh, I apologize, 7.5. So that's 40 years in the game. You know,
Slave master.
and you know, and that's why I call myself Reset Trifling Nigga because he embodies what the black male culture is trifling nigga shit.
Well, I'm gonna say,
He's
you know,
right, you know.
women are going to do certain things because a lot of what women do is they do try to copy men. Some stuff they deal with far more than what men would normally deal with. Because being catty, that's mostly gonna be a female thing at the end of the day. So I didn't hear y'all make that point, but I can agree with that. Man being catty, you can find it, but you're not gonna find it a whole lot. And some
I
of us
can't
take
see
them.
what you do find a lot in amongst us though is how easy it is for us to disrespect and dismiss each other. And I think that's a female trait that
Well,
we
it's American culture to be dismissive of black men, though.
Yep.
right.
That's just American
Well,
I was
culture.
about to say.
that's my
That's us.
ultimate target, but I think we gotta work that with
No,
certain groups.
he making a point. Yes, it's American culture, but black women revel and relish in that, and so do black men.
Yep.
Like, hey yo, we gotta hold niggas accountable. All we said was, hey yo, you're a little bit low, and hey yo, what do you say? Y'all niggas go to hell. That's all we said. Your volume is a little low.
Yeah, but accountability was took. No, what you got was sarcasm. You got you got you got me being facetious and putting it all in your face at once. But you didn't like that. I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck, and I still don't. It is what it is. You tried to be snide in your remark. That remark was not even needed to be called for, but you decided, I want to give it a shot and put it out in the ether. And in return, you got the same hostility back. So take off your little titty baby, crybaby tears and let that shit go.
Hey Roger, can I make a request, please, sir? Could you read Elder Blood comment? Please, sir.
let me see if I can find it because Roger, he a part-time host. Um, how in the white supremacist Willie Lynch hell do black men and black wenches have the same culture unless he is a sissy? Can the panel break that down and explain this fake black unity? Um, you know what? I'm gonna toss this one over to Mr. Me Too. Mr. Me Too, that sounds like a good comment for you to answer. So go ahead.
I think the way he started that off really answered that question. That's what the root of our culture is. Like I said, we lost our culture, and the only semblance that we ever had of a culture that could work for us in the U.S., we lost that soon as we integrated in America. Soon as we said that the white man ice is colder, and just whether we adopt it, like Jado just pointed out, subconsciously or not, that's how we move, and we have to recognize it, just like like he said. So that's my answer to that. Anybody else?
Alice?
Well, I couldn't hear what AL said because I don't know. For me, it was Borgen, but
Oh, he was telling you how wonderful a person you are.
yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
pretty sure, and that's just an example of the Willie Lynch letter, right? And when we talk about Quote Hunter, how Willie Lynch the hell do black men behave the same way? I mean, AL just gave you a masterclass, right? He just gave you a masterclass on how black men
you
behave.
always giving us a master class in the crab in the barrel bucket syndrome mentality. But I don't complain.
There you
I
go,
do
man.
not complain, brother. I see you portraying it every day. So
Thank you.
Elder Blood, I want to say, Elder Blood, this is your fault completely.
Yeah,
But
we
we
gotta
gonna
start
go
us out,
on.
man. You got people throwing chairs and stuff, man.
Right?
Tables
That's
flying.
well. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Elder Blood. There you go. You just saw it right there. So I don't know what else you
No,
want.
see,
That's real
see what
life.
I see is brothers who can kind of go at it, but still be good at the end of the day. I think that's great, man.
I choose to see the silver lining as well, sir. You know, we all know Brock ain't shit. We all know how. We all know hot sauce is a demon spawn that's jealous of me and his mother. You know, we understand all of that. You know what I'm saying? No, but in all seriousness, man, I do think, and I hate to say this live, I think today Mr. Me Too got a point. Today, don't take that too far, Mr. Me Too. Just today.
I'll take
Um,
what I can get. Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. I think we need to buckle down as productive black men, and we need to put forth policies, and we need to start fixing this. This is not going to get fixed by the women in our community, and this is not going to get fixed by the men that are led by the women in our community. We're going to have to fix this, and we're going to have to put down roots, and we're going to have to make the rules, and we're going to have to force these people to follow because they're
Yeah,
followers. They're not leaders.
yeah,
They are
yeah. You know,
followers.
that's the point I was making in my opening statement, man. Is that we are the vast minority, and the majority of people, um, they're trying to influence us to come over to accept their culture. A lot of us in this space, however, are waking up realizing that that's not the way to go. And even the conversations that we have in this space, it's all society centered when you really think about it. We're having conversations with each other about how to bring the family unit back, how to strengthen our community, right? And what it's going to take to do that. And even this conversation is just another conversation that alludes to that.
Yeah.
And in the midst of this, we're asking ourselves, can we do what we're trying to do and what we need to do with black women?
But see,
Well,
here's the problem. Here's the problem though. Like these conversations are cyclical. This conversation happened in 1919. This conversation happened in
Yes.
1868. This conversation happened in 1968, 1964. This conversation happened in 1980s. Hell, this conversation happened 3 months ago. It's the same shit, repeating over and over. I think the fact of the matter is that maybe we need to be honest with ourselves.
Yes.
Well,
and what's
I
the
couldn't talk for a while, but now that I can,
that's why the show been so good.
no, I don't know. It kind of dipped, if you ask
Oh,
me. I'm
we
gonna show how it comes right back up when I get involved. Okay, I think we need to accept that we got two different cultures. I think the reason things have been repeated because we still see ourselves as the same group. Black women ain't trying to mess with you like that. I'm not saying you can't get a black woman to be on what you own, but I'm saying that when it comes to the average person, black women ain't trying to be on what black men are on because black women like white supremacy. They want it to keep going, and they want to do what they can to support it. The average black man is trying to gain some level of control so he can direct life in a better way. Those are two opposing ideas. And because black men want black women to be included so bad, you can't make the change you need to make. They
I
ain't
guess where
willing.
you losing me, you saying the average black man.
Hey, Ro-
The
hey,
average
Ro-
black. Go ahead.
no, Roger. So what's I don't know, what's the number? 70%, 75% of children are being raised in single mother homes and with black people. Is that it? Or
I know
about
it's,
76.
I
seven?
know it's always around 70% of children being born out of wedlock. Now, what home they're gonna end up moving in? Because things can change over time. A person can get married over time. So I don't know exactly what that number is, but I know from the birth weight, it's always 70% up, just about.
And so let's say the 18 years that the boy or the girl is being raised by this person. Are they not developing a culture during that time?
Well, it seems to me they develop two different cultures. No, I'm being realistic because what do they do when they become adults? That's going to kind of show you what how things develop with them as a child. And black men and black women don't seem to be on the same accord.
Hey, the brother brought up a good point too about trauma yesterday, man. A lot of times it does take some traumatic event or maybe a series of smaller traumatic events to get them to start overcoming that culture that they came up in. It's an effort to overcome it, to be honest. First of all, you got to be able to recognize it and then overcome it. And sometimes that traumatic experience is what it takes, man.
Yeah, that's just what it takes.
No, you missed the step, Jado. You missed the step.
Yes,
First, you gotta recognize it, then unlearn what you learned, then start to learn what you didn't know you needed to learn.
Correct.
And that's a lot more to it. But go ahead, my bad.
This is where we as the black community fail. This is the inflection of failure here. When we look at other cultures, Frederick Douglass said it best, right? It is easier to train children than to rehabilitate grown adults. But he said grown men, right? It is extremely hard to rehabilitate people in their 30s, 40s, and stuff like that.
That's
the
a good
proper
point.
planning, if you really want the black community to thrive, you need to put aside yourself and focus on the children and let them know these are the mistakes that we made. This is what you need to do better. Invest in schools, invest in camps, invest in our best, and make sure that they're better than us so that in 10, 15 years or 100 years' time, we will never have this again. Never again. Right? When you look at other cultures, they'll say never again, and then they start investing in their children on the ways to go. This is the biggest gaffe in when we talk about black unity. Black unity starts. Black unity and black empowerment doesn't start with marriage. It doesn't start with black businesses. It starts with correcting. It starts with correcting and improving our weaknesses to make our children better than what we are. That's where black unity starts.
Now I'm gonna say, going along that track, that's something most men won't have a problem with, but it is something that most women will have a problem with. So how can we be of the same culture?
I'm willing to argue that. I'm willing to argue against that too,
issue with
Roger.
people coming behind and doing.
Wait, so Mr. Me Too, you believe that most women will subscribe to that?
I believe that most black men nowadays won't subscribe to that. I think it's hard for most black men to really sacrifice themselves for their grandkids.
Right.
Like, because it's something that, again, America has did a number on us. It's hard for us to think out. Because I'm gonna say this: if we really was serious about sacrificing for our grandkids, we would still be living in 2 and 3 room houses, saving every fucking penny, trying to build a community. If it took us to live in 2 and 3 bedroom houses with our wife and 5 kids, we would. Hey, somebody mute up. Y'all don't do drug deals on live.
Hey man, that's hot sauce, man. I'm trying to get him a little something right now.
I think most black men don't. We not really serious about that at this point. And I think I'm just saying that I think most of us is not really serious enough with that. Go ahead.
The issue is we with a woman that doesn't agree. I've never seen where men that had an issue sacrificing for their children or grandchildren. What I see is men come up with ways they're going to do it, and a woman would block. And because men have been trained to give way to women, they'll let the woman have her way, which means whatever they was planning to do for the future generations don't get done. Because you get a man that don't have a woman. Have you ever seen a father deny his daughter? You know, let's
Nope.
be realistic about it. You know, you ever seen a father deny his son? You don't see this type of stuff. You see blockage from women when kids want to get something done, or you come up with a plan to better their future. You see women blocking that. You don't see men blocking it.
Yep,
I'm
because my
confused.
daughter's 21 and I'm still not denying her. I still look
Yeah.
after her no matter what.
I've only
I'm
met one black man in my lifetime that I've seen not do shit for his
confused.
kids.
I'm confused a little bit. We just sat up here and said that you would not give a child a biscuit from Popeyes until an hour later till that shit is stale and hard like a hockey puck. But yet, in the same notion, you start saying that black men will sacrifice for their grandkids.
And the thing is, the kid that looking for me to feed them was not my child. That ain't my
No, but
kid.
if we're talking about black unity, it got to be all children, not
Random
just your
kid.
own.
Nah,
I don't have
nah,
no
bro.
Oh, hey,
No.
listen,
It got to
man.
be all children,
good and
not your
well.
own.
If it was my
Nah.
child gonna always eat. If
No,
I'm
but it
eating, they
cannot.
eat.
Your child needs other people to thrive. And your child need a group.
Okay. All right.
I
Well.
understand that. And at this particular point, there are too many children that, for whatever the parents' reason is, they don't want that child in their father's home. I can't save all them kids.
Bro. But come on, let's be strategic. You don't even have to deal with parents. We could just be like, you know what? We just gonna fuck with the orphans. All the black children that do not have mothers and fathers because they died of crack cocaine, car accidents, whatever. Just deal with them.
If their mothers are still alive, those are not orphans. If their
Yeah, they're
fathers are
not
still alive, those are
orphans.
not orphans.
I said orphans. If
I
your
mean,
parents if your parents are still alive, you're not an orphan.
I totally get you there, but I do already look out for some kids that parents ain't
Yeah.
in the picture. So I mean, that's
Right,
already a
but no,
done
no,
thing
no,
for
no.
me.
But again, like I said, this is where we fall short as a group. Not you, but as a group, this is where we fall short. Because right now we could be like, you know what? All right, let's think of this strategically. Women are against us, cool. So we can't deal with their children. All right, now some men are going to be female led, can't deal with them. So then let's deal with children who parents and they have no everybody's dead. Let's deal with this group of kids and our kids and let's raise them up, make them better than we are, and then 50, 60 years down the road, we're gonna have a strong black
Yeah.
community.
Well, I don't think that's going to overturn it just because that's not enough people. But I do believe men won't have a problem with that. I think if
Yeah,
we
we
actually
don't. I
sit,
mean,
It's
what
enough.
man is going to complain about, helping some orphans out?
one of
Then
the first things I
why
did
has
when
there
I
been
moved
enough?
out,
Well,
one of the first things I
hold on
personally did.
before you say it, bro. Let me get this because I want to get this off the screen. Shout out to Black Hulu Strikes who said it's normal for any group of people to want to fight to stay together, even when the effort is futile. Okay, and I do believe that's what has been going on amongst black folks because the men have been fighting to keep this thing together, and we have yet to accept the women prefer white supremacy and they prefer the white man in charge. And I think once we accept that, we're gonna be much better off.
Yeah.
Okay, I really believe that we're gonna be much better off once
I
we actually
agree with
accept
that.
that.
I
Yeah,
agree.
one of the first things I did when I moved out to my neighborhood was I immediately went and
Your
volunteered
white
to act as a
neighborhood.
mentor for the DSEG students at the middle school.
Your white
Okay, and they
neighborhood.
still have desegregation program where they busing black kids out to white schools. Okay,
In
one
your
of the
white
first things I
neighborhood.
did. One, this dude, man.
Right, right. Ah,
but one of my kids, his father was actually killed in the streets. And along the course of mentoring him, he actually went on, got a job, has worked his way all through high school, stayed out of trouble. There's organizations that I've helped. One is called A Seat at the Table that helps black youth between 18 and 25 to transition to adulthood. I think a lot of black men are actually active in trying to make a difference for that particular subset of people that you're talking about, Hot Sauce. So I don't think that there's an issue. I think there's a lot of efforts already being made to be involved in that space.
What I'm saying is that we're not being strategic because it's not being effective, right?
No, it is true. No, I've seen testimonies, man. We even have an organization here called the Black 100.
Wait a minute.
100 Black Men.
Wait a minute. Now, I think Hot Sauce makes a point. What we as black men have done, because we've been very responsive in general when people make requests of us.
Yeah.
But truthfully, that request is coming from single mothers. And we're going somewhere to help single mothers' children. And he has a better idea to say we need to do something where we just start helping orphan children. You know, it may not be as many people, but if we gave our efforts to orphans, that would definitely help. Because single mothers destroy efforts that we make for their children.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff you put in them, as soon as they go home, it gets depleted out of them, and then you go back to your white neighborhood.
Right. So what's the benefit? What's the use?
You know, because I'm just tired of like these Jack and Jill nigga. You know, up there like, yeah, we this for the community and we do
And
that.
this coming from an Ivy Leaguer, say he tired of Jack and Jill niggas. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Go ahead.
I just sit back and listen.
I'm not a Jack and
I just found it interesting, but go ahead.
I don't qualify to be Jack and Jill.
Right, I get it.
Just me.
Hey, man.
But nah, seriously though, man, it is the same culture, man. It is the exact same culture. It's just it's so far crazy that it's hard for us to even really. It's so far off from what should be. I think Jado hinted on it earlier when he was talking about how he got exposed to different cultures. And I'm gonna share something that I share. You know I'm not, but I'm gonna say this. I got exposed to different cultures earlier, and I got exposed to one situation later in life to where when I really understood it, I just kept it around. I just kept it around as a template to how I wanted to build and move and affect the world around me going forward. And it's far from what we know as American black men and even black women. And I think we just need to open our minds a little bit and think beyond just that white supremacist mindset that they done. We have to find a way to think beyond that.
Well, I'm gonna say I see it as two different things, because I mean, even when you're talking about being with a woman, if you're not supportive of me, I can't see you as a quote unquote help me. I can't even do it. I don't have the ability to see you being on my side when you're not displaying to me that you're on my side. If I can't see that you got my back, I mean, I don't know what to do with you other than to get rid of you. I think, unfortunately for most black men, though, we get told why women have an excuse to not be supportive of us. Well, she grew up this way. She had a traumatic experience. You know, you don't know what she's been going through and dealing with. I don't care about none of those reasons. I care nothing about that stuff. All I care is when I put you in the seat to be with me, you didn't perform correctly, so I got to get rid of you. Now, everybody got a story. I'm not going to even say the story wasn't good. I just don't care about your story. You either with me or you ain't. And I think when black men see it that way, we won't see ourselves attached to people who are not sharing their culture with us, because we want to advance and they don't. That's just what it is for the most part. We want to advance as a black group of people. They don't want to advance as a black group of people. They want us to be beneath white folks with a chance of them ending up with the white man. That's what I see them doing. When I said earlier, where have you seen any group of black women where they wanted black men in charge? I don't believe none of y'all even been to a picnic where the women wanted black men in charge. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. If we want to be in charge and they don't want us to be in charge, fundamentally, our culture is going to be different.
Man, the last family reunion I went to, the men were up there serving the food to the family, bro. That's the last
That
family
explains a
reunion.
lot. That explains a
That's the
lot.
last family reunion I went to, dog.
You are telling us how you became the man that you are today. That explains a lot. Thank you, sir.
You can't get these
I
too much
broke away from it,
information, bro.
man. I broke out, man. I broke out. I
You
escaped
ain't
the
get a
temptation.
you ain't get a plate.
No, I say, you know what? I say, man, y'all
Did you
keep
get a
that plate,
plate?
man.
No, you ain't. No, bro, don't do that.
You know that he did not get a plate. You know he didn't get no plate.
Man, they had the men all lined up preparing the plates, man. That was the last family reunion I went to, dog. I ain't been
Did
back
you
since.
did you serve
Hey,
I
the
bro.
sent my
macaroni
love.
and cheese?
I sent my
Did you
love.
serve did you serve
Hey.
the macaroni and cheese or the beans and rice? Which one you served?
Bron, Bron, not to put you on the spot, man. If you don't want to divulge this, please don't, bro. But hey, would you even try to attempt to have a talk with the brothers of the family and say what the hell's going
I
on?
I have. Like, so my second oldest brother and then one of my older cousins. They the only two for real. I mean, I say my father as well, but they for real. Besides them, everybody else just kind of got
What,
that gynocratic mindset, man. Don't even make no sense to even try to talk to them.
right.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Realistically, man, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Hey, Brunk, let me ask you this: with those ones that didn't get it, did you attempt to talk to them, or no? You just seen it wasn't worth it, or how you approached it?
Yeah, I attempted to talk to my oldest brother, and I'm still trying to have some conversations with him because he was raised by a single mother. I know that's where he's getting a lot of that idea from. But he's the oldest brother, so I'm his younger brother. So there you go, right?
See, you niggas not answering. You're not asking the right questions. The right question is, you better not lie. Who plate you make?
No.
I don't know
Man,
why I even shared that, bro.
it's
I don't even know why I
it's
shared that. I should have kept that one to myself, man.
it's kind of sad, man. Like I was raised by
So
a
hold on,
single mother.
we ain't gonna let him answer. We just gonna
Oh yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
just
I made my plate, man. I made my plate. Don't ask me no more questions.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You definitely made your mother plate and your girl plate.
Now, as a brother who's never been married, every time I went to a family reunion, I still ain't made a plate. You see what I'm saying? So I know my family would be seen as abnormal in today's climate because I ain't made a plate yet. And I'm being dead serious. I ain't made a plate for me. I ain't made a plate for my little brother. I ain't made a plate for my little sister. I ain't made a plate for my nephew. I ain't made a plate for my niece. I ain't made a plate for a little cousin. I ain't even made a plate for just a small kid that I'm not even sure whether they actually family or not. And they a little kid. And I ain't made them a plate. I ain't never made a plate. But I go up and visit other people's stuff. No, I make a plate. I know I got to make a plate. Me being a man, don't give me a plate of food. Now you come to my family reunion, if I invite any of you guys to my family reunion, you're not gonna make a plate. And that's real. Ain't none of y'all gonna make a plate. Y'all can all come to the same one. Ain't none of y'all gonna make a plate.
Yeah.
But see, when I go to other people's family reunion, I know I gotta make my own plate.
If I invite y'all to my house when I move back, none of y'all gotta make a plate. Only reset.
I'm gonna say this. I don't want to play at his house because there ain't gonna be nothing but cocaine on it, And the only reason you'll be making a plate at Roger's family reunion is because it's all Popeye's chicken boxes anyway.
No, well, though realistically though, well, you won't get that in my house. We got plenty of cooks, bro. We throw down on the cook, you know. But I mean, my thing is, for the average black man, you're going to go into your manhood at some point. For the most of us, we will be guidance centric very much so for a good period of time. I estimate it's going to take about 7 years of being in the adult world. So when you make it about 25 years old, you're going to start to let some of that gynocentric stuff go, unless you're just going to stay gynocentric the rest of your life. So as more men develop their manhood, we ain't moving in the same direction as sisters. Black women want an LGBT community where they feel safe and secure, and they raise all the kids for themselves. Black men want to raise their children and have strong families and own property and own businesses and take over stuff. And that's not what black women want. So how can we truly be of the same culture when their goal is to make sure we're not in charge, and our goal is trying to get us in charge so we can make a better community? You know, even gynocentric men be trying to do stuff to make the community better. They just do it in a bad way, but they at least be trying sometimes. But that ain't what the women want. So even though we did go to the same houses, how do we have the same culture?
I can accept your average when you said that, when you keep saying the average, brother, part about how even the gynocratic men, they trying something, but it's in a bad way. Yeah, okay, I can see how you saying average. So
and it may
ahead.
not be respected because they're trying to do it from this gynocentric fashion, and they're doing it amongst gynocentric people. So it may not be accepted at all, but they try it.
Okay, that cleared that up for me. Thank you.
You know? Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of trash content creators right now trying to make stuff better in their own dumb perspective. I'm just nice enough that I never call them out by name because, you know what I'm saying? I know people trying to make money. And I mean, some people just trying to hustle, but some people actually mean it. They say some very stupid stuff, but you can tell they got a sincere heart. So they're saying that stupidity from a real sincere place. It's just still dumb, but they're serious. They're very sincere.
Hey, so gentlemen, aren't we kind of known around the globe as the most egalitarian man on the planet?
Absolutely.
Do you guys? I think that's a problem. Do you guys think so, or no? I think that's a big problem. Do you guys agree?
I don't think being the most egalitarian is a problem in itself. I think you're going to see there's a problem when you start comparing yourself to other men. It's not that we're too egalitarians, we too soft, and we let women have their way too much. It's not about we're egalitarian. That's a way people say that, but no, most black men have been trained to give way to a woman.
It manifests.
So do you think that's a problem though, Roger? Right?
No, it manifests itself as a problem here in America, but abroad it can be some sort of a strength for you because it's easier for you to find peace with a woman.
I don't know if I agree with that, brother, because we shouldn't be the most soft or egalitarian, whatever your words you guys want to use.
It's somewhat put a target on our back overseas.
It's a problem. It's a problem because this.
Right.
When you go to another culture, you date another culture, you're going to spoil her. And you're assholes.
Right.
You're going to ruin what was built. So it's a problem. You can be ruined what is built.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
And I'm going to say shout out to Black Cruz Strikes. He says it's a problem and an opportunity if you have a plan.
Right. That is a good side to it.
Because if you do go to some place where the women feel like they have no choice because the men are just that strong in that area, well, when you come along, you're going to let her get away with more than the other men going to let her get away with. So for her personally, that's going to be more enjoyable for her personally. But that's a personal thing. You know, now when it comes to us being in America, because we are trained to be that way, our women get away with too much stuff and we still accept blame for what our women do. one of the biggest problems, in my opinion, that black men have is they can't separate themselves from black women's blame.
Yep.
When black women do something bad, we say it's still men's fault.
That's how you know Adam was a black man.
And my thing is, I understand accepting responsibility, but I do not accept fault for something I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Accepting responsibility is, my nephew playing baseball and he busts somebody's window, I'll go pay for it because I'm accepting the responsibility. It's still his fault. If you ask me what happened, this little dude, you know what I'm saying? He out here playing baseball and maybe he wasn't supposed to, and then he done broke the neighbor's window. I'm still gonna point the finger at him, even if I am gonna take the responsibility. But I do the same thing with women. I just don't accept responsibility for her bad choices, but most men do. And we say, well, you gave her room to do it. Now, I gave you room when I helped you do it. If I give you my car and you have an accident in my car, you can say I'm at fault because I gave you the car. But if you just go take a car and, you know what I'm saying, because that's what you want to do, and I ain't gave you nothing, that ain't got nothing to do with me. It's not my fault, even if I do decide to step up and take the responsibility. And black men, we take responsibility and fault, which is why women feel like they can do whatever they want. Because remember, they do stuff based on what they feel, not necessarily what they think. They do stuff based on what they feel. I feel like somebody gonna step up and handle it anyway.
Yep, not very calculated in their approach.
All right, I'm gonna let somebody else read this from Black People Strikes because I think it's good to say, but I ain't gonna be cursing on air. So, who wanna read this real quick?
It says you don't have to be a complete butthole just because other men are. That won't necessarily help you either. That's what I agree with Black Guru on this. The egalitarian part of it is that even though you're a little bit more pliant, you're going to get a better woman when you go somewhere else. And you can also learn from the culture of the men who are there, and you can learn to implement some things in you to be a little bit more stern and to make you a better leader, whether you are here or abroad. So it's an opportunity to learn, but it's also an opportunity for you to find a wife a lot easier than it is here in America.
And I can say for sure that I've had some problematic situations with women because I will not take I would not take blame for something they did. I would handle some responsibility, but I will not accept blame if I didn't do it.
I will say this: nobody's saying nobody is saying you have to be a butthole. But what I'm saying is there is the thing of being too nice, and when you are too nice, people are people that will take advantage of you.
Yeah, fellas.
And that's the thing when we're saying compliant and egalitarian. That means like you're being too nice, and people will take advantage of you, and that's why it's going to be a problem down the road.
Nah, being egalitarian does not mean too nice. It's people make up excuses because they want to be jerks to people. No. I'm being real, bro. Being egalitarian just means you're seeing things more equal. That doesn't make a person too nice. That means somebody's bad and they want to take advantage of another person. It's not that somebody's too nice. You're dealing with somebody you shouldn't be dealing with because they're a bad person.
Not necessarily, Roger.
No,
Roger.
I've dated a lot of women from other cultures, being that I lived abroad half my life. And in the beginning, I used to be like whatever. I used to be, female led just like everybody else. Once I stopped that, I don't have those problems anymore. I was the only one experiencing those problems. Right?
You will be a target. It'll somehow find you. The worst will somehow find you in those situations.
Same for me. I haven't been overseas nearly as long as you, brother, but same as me. And that's why I even brought this up. And I know it's a lot of room between being a complete asshole and a soft person, a soft man. I don't want to get into the semantics about the egalitarian and the softness. Man.
Soft man gonna get ran over.
I do want to say a good person doesn't take advantage of other people simply because they can.
But Roger,
Yeah,
people are people,
Roger is
though.
right on that point, but
I know.
that's something that's different.
It's easy to label people good or bad or whatever. But humans are humans.
That is true, but we do know what taking advantage of a person is.
No,
And
but
my
me,
thing
like,
is,
we're going to extreme. What I'm
Yeah.
saying to you is this, right? If you're used to being treated a certain way, then a guy comes that now he's treating you softer. She's getting spoiled, and what happens to a person that gets spoiled? Eventually, they turn rotten.
Yes.
okay, and all I'm saying is because I get where you're coming from. I never blame the person who's being taken advantage of for being taken advantage of. I blame the person who's taking
Right.
advantage of them for doing that. And
Roger,
that's
it's not about the blame. We're talking about the reality of how things
Well, what
play out.
happens?
I blame changes reality. The reason
No,
people do things is because
no,
they want to get blamed or don't want to get blamed. When
no,
people have an
sir.
idea, women do it all the time because they're in a fear of being blamed. They don't want to take credit for their choices because there's a fear of
Roger,
being blamed for their
No,
choices.
it's not
let me
about
ask you something,
blame.
Roger. Let me ask you this. Hold, let me ask you this. Hey, Roger, do you think most black men would have an issue um uh picking up their plate when they done eating and going and taking it to the kitchen while the girl sitting right next to them?
Do they have an issue with it? No.
Yeah. Do you think that's something most black men would probably do?
More than likely, yeah.
Do you realize something as simple as that can give a woman overseas a thought in her mind that she can, wow, this man just got up and took his own plate to the kitchen. Hold on, let me see what else I can do. She just natural humanity or natural, especially a woman, they're going to explore any kind of room you give them. They're going to explore it. And it might not initially start off as them misusing you, but the end result is in their mind, they misusing you all because you're doing something that you would normally do back here. And I think that's what the brother is trying to say.
Man, something ain't
Let's
right,
get away
man.
from the word misuse. Let's get away from that. What I'm
I
saying
can't
to you
believe I
is,
just heard that from Mr. Me Too. That was an excellent point, man. What's going
let's
on?
move away from
What
the
kind of
word
coffee you had?
misuse. Let me just say it this way.
Y'all just finally listening. That's all that is. And I appreciate it. Thank y'all both.
Please. Thank you. Let's move away from misuse. All I'm saying to you is this: is that when you date women from overseas, there's a protocol, and there's culture, and there's cultural norms. And when you no longer practice those cultural norms, to her it would be viewed as a luxury. And what do they say? Once you have a taste of luxury, now it becomes common, right? And so when you treat her the way you treat other women, she's going to become that type of woman because you're spoiling her.
Simple.
And all I'm saying is, I get, because I do get what y'all are saying. And I do understand that women, I call it poking. They're always trying to see how much they can get away with here and there. But once you get to a point where you poked and it was too hard, and I give you a reaction, that's your own fault. You wanted this reaction because you kept poking. You see what I'm saying? So again, I don't accept blame where blame is not due. I put it where it belongs. How could you yell at me like that? Or how could you say that to me? This is your fault because you made it necessary. Is that simple?
No, what I'm saying is this: all that could have been avoided. You could have had a happy relationship if you just understood the culture and understand where you need to make a change. That's all we're saying.
I'm not saying don't make an effort to understand somebody's culture. I am not saying that at all. But at the end of the day, to take advantage of a person, someone has to make a decision to do that.
Yeah.
And once you make a decision to take advantage of somebody, it's on you.
No,
right. That's definitely a fact.
Hey, Roger, I know you're talking about the blame, bro, but the blame doesn't take away the consequences that happen because of this stuff, man.
Exactly. And all mouths are not
You can place the blame anywhere, but the consequences still took place. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, if she can suck the soul out of you, bro, and you did not follow protocol, even though it's her fault. What is the consequences?
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like I told y'all before, I met a young lady who had an actual problem. Okay, she had a sex problem. She can't stop having sex. That's her actual problem. This is a real thing for her. You know what I'm saying? I met her, talked to her. Obviously, there was some sex vibes going on. But once I talked to her enough and I understood she had an actual problem, I didn't mess with her.
No, but see, you're going to extremes. We're talking about healthy sexual habits. We're not talking about addiction, bro. All I'm saying, look, my asshole ain't licking itself. And that
Lord have mercy.
I just lost an asshole liquor. Right?
Well, if you ran across her, I'm sure she was looking for you. But my I'm not trying to go into extreme. There are people that I know I have the ability to take advantage of, and I simply decide not to. That's all I'm saying. Everybody has that position in life. Once you realize you can take advantage of somebody, if you're a good person or consider yourself a good person, you literally make a decision not to do it. Doesn't mean you can't. You just make a decision not to.
There's consequences, brother.
Sometimes there is. Sometimes you get away with the thing for a while.
Roger, it's easy to label a good person or a not good person, bro. But it's a lot in between from there, man. A lot in between.
Okay, there's women who go out with men just to eat food, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Isn't that taking advantage of a man?
Yes.
Absolutely, but we're not talking about
now. But whose fault is that though?
That's your fault.
You see what I'm saying?
That's your fault.
So you blame the victim for thinking something.
No. If you know you're in her, if you know that your name in her phone is like Rocky.
But when do you figure that out?
Roger, you know, if I got a whole bunch of jewelry and I'm walking down 43rd and I get robbed, what are you going to say to me, Roger?
I'm going to say you should.
What are you going to say to me?
You should not.
Are you victim blaming?
No, I'm going to say you shouldn't have been doing that. I mean, that happened to me. I told you I got robbed. I had a pair of shoes, brand new shoes. I had them out. It's the middle of the night. I'm not nowhere close to home. I ain't got no advantage in this situation. I ain't had no car at the time. I got robbed. I understand why I got robbed, but I can't blame myself for doing the robbery.
But you still got robbed, though. You still got robbed, Roger.
Men know when they're in the phone as food. Bronk is in a lot of women's phone as food. So we all know that. We all know that. I don't even need to see the women, and we know that.
I'm not saying people shouldn't take precautions. And as I've told y'all before, 2 days, we went out twice. You don't need to, I ain't gonna never find out what my name in your phone is, because we went out twice and didn't nothing happen. Ain't no third time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it is, but that's not me doing something that I should have to do. That's me separate myself because I know people want to take advantage of me. I understand there's women out here trying to take advantage of men. So I act like a man that women.
That's why you're not food in people's phone.
Well, you know, hot sauce name in these hoes' phone is Diddy Bobs.
Jesus Christ.
No, if you want to make a joke, can it be your own joke? Can it be original, nigga?
Yeah, that's original. That's original.
On this light note, I can say this is one.
A hit dog will holler.
I can say one clear distinction, and if you want to make it a distinction in cultures, black men culture is a lot more fun, entertaining, and creative than black women culture. They tend to lean more towards the destructive side of things, but. Yeah, that is a clear, distinct difference in how we approach things from a cultural perspective.
I don't know if I agree with that, Mr. Me-Too, but let me ponder on that a little bit.
There's a question in chat. So Terrell, what is it, Trill?
Yeah, I was gonna say you gonna answer that hot sauce.
I used to practice horse dancing in martial arts, so I just do a horse dance.
I'm looking at this a heck of a question.
Oh my
Didn't know
God.
what the question was. If y'all didn't read the question, it said, how can a
Oh
man
man.
get his a-hole licked without either his legs in the air or tooting that thing up? I just say it like that, or tooting that thing up.
So it's you know how you get your like
Hey, hey,
you get
hey,
your first
now
stance,
we
and
know.
then you just slide
Now,
at the bottom and get the
now
lick
we
off.
know. Now we know hot sauce name in the women's phone is Tutu. We know that now. We know.
Tooting that thing up. Oh, snap. I wouldn't have guessed it, man. I wouldn't have guessed it. That's what I was saying. I wouldn't have guessed it. But hey, can't be right about everything, I guess.
Well, Terrell knows to me. He tooted his ass too. That's why he brought it up. He tooted his ass also.
He be right there too, huh?
Hey, don't drag me in your mess, man. Come on. Don't drag me in your mess.
Now, I'm gonna say, I believe our culture is different because we have different goals and we do things to achieve these different goals. And your goal will start to dictate what your culture is because you're doing stuff around what the goal is. So goals are gonna dictate culture. If you have men that want to be heads of household, who want to be better off than white folks, because let's keep it real, black men, you live in this country, you get all these different messes. If you snap out of it, eventually you want to live better than white folks. You want to be cool with running into white people who make less than you. You want to be cool. You cool with the fact that you're gonna run into men that don't have the power you have in a daily life. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be glad about these different things. So we want to be dead in charge. And then you got the women who are trying to usher in this LGBT culture amongst the masses of black men. You got them where they want to have kids where you have the baby, but you're the child's father, but you don't get to be involved with the child's development. You know what I'm saying? Like their goals are just totally different than what our goals are. They want to be the head of the house too. You know what I'm saying? You can't have two people being the head of the same house. Somebody got to be the head. So how can we really have the same culture? I get that we may grow up in the same home, but I'm saying based on what our adult experiences are, it don't seem like we really got the same culture.
I think Roger finally hit on a really good point. They do have a completely different life goal than we have. And if you look over most cultures, the men and the women, regardless of
Right.
what differences they have the same goal
Life goal.
for that
That's true.
household, the same goal for their children. They
That's true.
operate as a team. We
Yeah.
don't do that. I
Yeah.
think it took him almost 3 hours, but he finally told the truth.
I don't know who said it. I don't know who said something like that first, but they literally said that black women's goal is to be single moms with a house. It's so many words. They don't really
Oh,
include
Probably
family and
Roger.
they don't include family in their goal. It's
I
all
said
about
I,
them.
I said that while you was trying to get up that when you look at
Yeah.
the way that they do things, like the purpose of them buying a house, like Roger hit on that. The purpose of them buying a house is so that they don't have to listen to a man. The purpose of them getting a job is so they don't have to listen to a man. So their goals are entirely different as adults than ours. When we buy a house for our wives, for our families, and things like that. We do live separate cultures in that way, where our goals are completely different.
Yeah, they literally buy a house to post it on social media and tell the world how they did it all by themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even in small choices,
Man.
the last vehicle I bought, I really wanted to get a two-seater, right? That was what I really wanted to just go ahead and get a two-seater. But my last car ran into a problem. So I didn't have nothing that was four doors. But I say, okay, I'm going to get a four-door vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just going and getting the convertible. I just get the convertible. You know what I'm saying? That's so in case I'm around family, other people can get in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like we think that way. You know, if I'm taking my nephews out, I gotta have a place to put them. My other vehicle went down. I wasn't. It wasn't like I was planning. I was planning to have two vehicles at the same time. I just wanted a convertible and a sedan, but the sedan happened to go down. So it's like, no, I gotta hold off on the convertible because if I gotta pick people up Well, if I'm taking people out, I can't do that with the two though. That's not gonna be comfortable. But even though I don't have a wife and children, I'm still making certain sacrifices. So when I'm around family members, we can still commune and do stuff that we want to do, and we can ride together. That's more of a man's way of thinking. Women ain't a woman that was in my position. She just went ahead and got the convertible. Screw everybody else. They'll figure it out.
Yep. I'm telling you, if they change these laws, or when they do change these laws, where it's no longer financially beneficial to have children, i.e., food stamps and child support and all that, they're gonna stop having children, bro.
Yep, because the kids weren't about them in the first place. The kids were solely for the purpose of getting all of those benefits and so-called entitlements.
And women right now are literally trying to figure out, is there better things that we can do to extract from the men? You know, I see a lot of social media. I heard that just yesterday, and I'm dead serious. Dead serious. You know, we as women, we just not doing enough to extract stuff from these men.
Yep.
You know, didn't say it exactly in those words, but that's literally what she said. Just a small video I came across yesterday.
Remember that situation with Tyree and Samantha Lee?
Tyree and Samantha. You got to remember who are these?
Tyrese,
people?
the singer, the R&B singer.
Oh, Tyrese. Okay, yeah.
And what he went through trying to essentially, fight to get, time with his daughter and whatnot, and how she essentially drugged that man through family courts. At one point, I think she was getting like $20K a month in child support.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. Like,
social media was dragging him. Social media was dragging him and stuff, and all the crying memes they made about the man. And then after all of that, when his daughter got old enough, when she was finally emancipated, or at the age of emancipation, she actually went and stayed with him over that one.
I mean, what kid ain't gonna do that?
Yeah, that's just a public example to show, what a black father goes through trying to establish just his paternity rights.
Yeah, and I'm not even just.
Crazy, man.
I don't want to come across as if I was trying to disagree with you. I'm just saying when you got a black household, if you a black child who's raised with a mama, and then they figure out they got a choice between picking dad and mom, more than likely they're gonna pick dad. That's just the way it is, because dad care about them.
Right. And mom care about the money that she can get from them.
Yeah, the mom trying to do her own thing. Dad actually cares about them. So when the kid old enough to understand that, they gonna pick dad. To me, that's a natural choice. But I do think we need to realize we just got two different cultures. And I think that had we realized that a long time ago, we'd be better off than where we is now. Because when I was 18, if I already knew that black men and black women had two different cultures, I wouldn't spend no time trying to quote unquote find this good black wife so we can have this good black family and be a better example for the black community, which wasn't even as necessary as I thought it was. Because I thought that's what women wanted. Because all these lies that's been out here. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? That's what we need. I'm down for it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I grew up having to understand that black women's culture is very different than our culture, black women would have never factored in. And I'll probably be doing what some 25-year-old doing right now. Off with his Hispanic check finna make a baby. And that's real talk. Now, and I will say it might be a wedding next year. That's gonna be another young black man with a Hispanic woman. And I'm not saying it ain't no hope. I actually found out somebody I know. He's 26. I just found out this dude was married for 8 years. I believe his wife is black. I have to verify that, but I believe his wife is black. He said he married his high school sweetheart. They got out of high school. He said he went to college together, and boom, that was that. He's 26 and been married for 8 years. So, you do the math. They did this right after high school, 9 times out of 10.
Hey, on that note, let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think there's a benefit for men, let's say over the age of 45, regardless of his situation, you know, financially or whatnot. Do y'all think it's a benefit for a man from 45 on up to get married at this point? And if so, what it is?
That's going to depend on what you want out of life. No, because if you already had kids and stuff already.
What if you haven't had kids? Like just a man who, let's say you.
Oh man, I'm
40, say from 45-year-old Roger on up.
Hey, Roger said I'm having too much fun. Roger said I'm having too much fun being closet Pookie, man. I'm the last person who
That depends on a lot of different factors of that man, what his goals are. It depends on a lot of different factors, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna say honestly, at my age now, the question is, do I even want to share anything with someone?
Well, let me probably narrow it down to this: a benefit for the community, or for a Roger, a 45-year-old and up Roger to get married, who's never been married before and don't have kids.
I mean, if I can go meet some 22-year-old and she with it, maybe. That's gonna be the biggest benefit. But how old is the woman gonna be? Now, if the woman is an older woman, and I will do this. You know what I'm saying? If a woman's an older woman, like if I ever got married one day, bro, I got a bad deal for you. We can get married, and you ain't gonna get nothing. And if you cool with that, it can work out. But I mean, everything gonna be left to somebody else. Not leaving you anything for real. I would ask people not to kick you out. You know what I'm saying? But once I'm dead, how much control of that do I have?
I want to hear.
But I don't know what else to do at that particular point. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If she's 30 or above, I'm basically hooking you up where you get to be with me. Yes, you're gonna have to service me, but it's better than being on your own in the world. But am I gonna leave you anything behind? That's not gonna be the plan.
So for the community, well, go ahead.
That ultimately would be selfish. Like the woman, she has spent some time with you. You ain't gonna leave her nothing.
She was selfish hey, bro, we didn't get married before. You know what I'm saying? When she was, if she wasn't 30 years old before she got married, that's her own fault. What am I? I ain't looking to fix her problems. Now she 22, we can do something different.
Okay.
But you 30 and above, you were selfish. You think selfishness is cool.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I can't even argue that.
Now, it'd be better for the community as far as keeping some women from being out there in the street and having a bunch of babies with dudes that don't care. So it'd be helpful in that way.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying, bro. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
When she that old, she probably already got the kids. So you essentially gonna show up and be the savior. I don't think that's good for you.
I ain't saying all that, bro.
He proposed an older woman with no children.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Well, no, he never really said how old the woman was gonna be.
Yeah, no, there's no age for the woman, and to be in particular the black male leadership. You know, our subset of the community. Yeah, I'm sure we all understood that, but I just want to put that out there.
Now, realistically, if we have children, okay, cool, and then I will stuff to my own children because I had children now, depending upon how young she is. But let's say she's 50. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
well,
you
she
did her
50, she ain't finna have no kids. You just get to service me while I'm alive, and I'm gonna try to make it cool where you can stay in the house after I die until it'll be like my nephew's taking over that thing. Now you got to be good and cool with them so they don't put you out.
I'm in agreement with that. I'm in 100% agreement with that.
Yeah, but you can't be 50 years old expecting me to build this life for you or gain these different things, and I'm gonna give it to you. Why would I?
I'm with you.
You know, the deal is you take care of me while I'm alive. I make sure you straight while I'm alive, and I'll try to make sure you straight for a time period after I die. But the house you live in, that's not gonna be yours. That's going to my nephews. Because we ain't had no kids together.
Gotcha.
And if you piss them off, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And any woman who don't like that deal, she can just provide for herself. I'm 100% good with women providing for themselves. Yeah.
Shout out to feminism.
And on that note, we're going to close it down because we're about to hit the 3-hour mark, y'all. So it's been good. It's been great. It's been wonderful. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Subscribe to the channel if you find this type of if this type of stuff is interesting you. We do it Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Chicago time, not where you happen to be. Join us tomorrow. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right, and I'm out.